Hello guys! BEST Association is the student association of business economics in Universitas Prasetiya Mulya and was first established in 2017, intending to support the development of student soft skills, especially in analyzing economic conditions which can impact businesses. Several programs have been conducted for the past 3 years. In 2018, Universitas Prasetiya Mulya, together with Bachelor in Business Economics, held BEST Challenge, a competition for senior high school students, discussing the topic of peer-to-peer lending, the next generation funding. The purpose of the competition is to improve students' analytical skills towards business and economics. And as a continuation of BEST Challenge, BEST Association has planned to conduct a competition for university students named Road to Cube 2021. It is a pre-event to introduce one of BEST Association's biggest projects, Cube 2021. The competition aims to increase the awareness of Bachelor in Business Economics alongside BEST Association, but most importantly is to encourage potential students in analyzing businesses with recent economic situations. Another event held by BEST Association is Friday, which was held both in 2018 and 2019 by presenting mini talk shows, game sessions, and gatherings for high school students who have an interest in economics. The goal of this event is to expand their knowledge about economics. The third event is the Business Economics Conference, or BEC in short. BEC is an annual event by BEST Association, held in collaboration with CSIS Indonesia, which helps to arrange the event for second semester business economics students to present their mini research regarding several topics that were brought up during the conference. The BEC is also used as a platform for final year business economics students to present their findings to the public as their thesis result in the conference. Apart from that, some of BEST Association's new projects in 2020 are Podconomics and BEST Talks. Podconomics is a podcast created to share knowledge and economic theories, while BEST Talks is where committees discuss organizational works, experience, and many more. Both can be accessed on our social media, such as Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify. Besides podcasts, BEST Association has successfully produced research by the R&D team in the form of videos known as Nugget Economics. Next is BEST Bonding Program. BEST Association not only provides a platform for students to improve economic knowledge, but here we also have the opportunity to know each of business economics students in the bonding program. The bonding program has a lot of activities open for business economics students to build relationships with all batches. To further increase the existence of our organization, we have come up with more projects up ahead, such as the Business Economics Internal Competition or BEIC, Student Awards for all business economics students, comparative study, and also BEST newsletter. So, that's all about BEST Association. Don't forget to follow our social media so you don't miss any information about our upcoming programs. See you!
gentlemen, welcome to the first webinar of CUBE 2021 brought to you by Universitas Prasetiya Mulya with the topic of doughnut economic.
Where to start?
My name is Tiffany.
And I'm Dafa, and we will be your host for today.
Alright, so before we start, we want to give our warmest welcome to everyone joining in this YouTube. Can we get a hi? Hi guys, how are you guys? Is everything good?
Yes, so welcome everyone, all of the participants, speakers, and audiences to this wonderful, exciting, and eventful day. We hope you have your snacks and drinks ready with you because today's event is going to be absolutely jam-packed.
Exactly. But by the way, Steva, I wonder this guy over here is curious to know what is CUBE exactly.
Hey, that's a really good point to start things off, really, guys, right? So for those that are unaware, CUBE stands for actually Competition for University in Business and Economics. And it is essentially a business and economics analysis competition that takes place under the S1 Business Economics of Universitas Prasetiya Mulya Student Association called Best Association. And this goes for all Indonesian undergraduate students. So after successfully organizing the pre-event called Road to CUBE 2021 back in September 2020, which attracted various participants from places such as Java, Sumatra, and Sulawesi. This year, we are presenting an even broader view of sustainability in business and economics.
Awesome! There you have it, folks. A brief description of CUBE 2021. But everyone, that's not all. Stay tuned because at the end of this webinar, we're going to have a what, Ava?
Giveaway!
Yeah! All right, who's excited?
All right. So I bet all of us are super excited. Oh, and guys, it gets even better because all you have to do here is participate. Be active in our interactive Q&A sessions, and right from there, we will pick the best questions that you guys have. Those lucky winners who are picked will have the opportunity to win this giveaway.
Alright, and if you only think that we will only have one giveaway, you're wrong, folks, because we're not only just giving not one, but 2 giveaways. Wow!
Yes, from Lingo Talk and Love Beauty Planet, which means that there will be a total of 9 lucky winners.
Wow, 9 lucky winners, guys. So participate because who knows, you're gonna be those one out of 9 lucky winners. And all you have to do if you want to ask a question is to type in the comment section with the format being your full name underscore Instagram username and then your question. And hopefully from today's webinar, all of us can gain lots of insight from today's sessions. But before we get into all that, let's watch a quick video.
All right, thank you for that, everyone. And hey, speaking of which, Tiff, you mentioned donut economics right at the beginning, right? So what is it exactly? Because I bet a lot of us are wondering the exact same thing, right?
Well, to be honest, Safa, I don't want to sound clueless, but I really don't know. But no worries, no worries. We're gonna find out together as the show goes on.
All right, that's fine. But hey, let's hold your horses, folks, because before we get into all of that, we would first of all like to thank our media partners that made all of this possible. So, Many thanks to B-Voice Radio, Motao Event, Initiative UI, Internet Indonesia, Students at CEO Bandung, Opportunist, ISEC, Youth Development Community, Sustainable Indonesia, Campus Update, Kompetenko, Saya Pilih Bumi, Campus.com, Event Campus, Acara Campus, Radio Mu, Greeneration Foundation, and Demi Bumi.
And also, we would like to say thank you to our sponsors, Indomaret, Mudah dan Hemat, Johnson & Johnson, For All You Love, Lingo Talk, your best pal in language learning, Kalsa Indonesia, Fashion with a Cause, and also Skin Game, your skin listener. All right, so we wanted to say thank you to our media partners and our sponsors who made this CUBE 2021 possible. And by the way, guys, a quick question to everyone here. By the way, does anyone know who will be the case contributor for CUBE 2021? Hit us up with your guesses on the comment section down below. Right now, just...
All right, come on, guys. We want to take a look at what you guys think will be the case contributor for CUBE 2021.
Yeah, okay, let's see. Oh...
All right, let's take a quick look.
Okay, can the operator help us with up the... All right, there's one from Delphia Delicia. Love, Beauty, and Planet.
All right. That is a very, very good guess already, right from the beginning.
All right.
All right. So I guess I don't have to mention it anymore because someone's already had a really good guess. But if you guys were to have seen from the previous videos and the posters that we've had, you guys might have been able to actually guess who the case contributor might be. All right.
Yep.
Maybe let's have one more. Let's have one more guess up. What do you guys think?
Okay. Can the operator help
Take
us
a look.
up? Oh yeah. Oh
Unilever.
Yeah.
That's also a really, really good one.
Yeah.
Maybe
Really good
everyone
guess.
here is already very prepped. Yeah.
All right.
All right then. I guess since everyone's probably already very prepped and have already been aware previously, you guys are right. CUBE 2021's case contributor this year is Love, Beauty, and Planet.
All right, and by the way, you've said that our case contributor is Love, Beauty, and Planet, right? From which we know it's from Unilever, just like one of our audience said. And by the way, knowing how CUBE goes, Deva, does that mean that the winners will get a chance to intern at Unilever?
You bet it. So, for those who are unaware, the winners of CUBE this year will get a chance to get an internship in Unilever. And, speaking of which, we will now present a video by our respected case contributor themselves. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are very proud to present Love, Beauty, and Planet.
Inilah kisah Love, Beauty, and Planet. Kami ingin merawat kecantikanmu secara alami tanpa merusak bumi melalui small acts of love. Salah satunya dengan menggunakan bahan alami berkualitas yang diproses secara bertanggung jawab. Kami memiliki conditioner cepat bilas agar rambut ternutrisi lebih cepat serta lebih hemat air. Botol kami terbuat dari 100% plastik daur ulang dan dapat didaur ulang kembali. Kami percaya small acts of love akan jadi perubahan besar bagi kamu dan bumi. Love, Beauty, and Planet.
Wow, so like as you can see from the video, even the packaging is 100% recycled materials. That's awesome.
That was great, honestly. That seemed like very, very high quality products. But hey, anyways, Tiff, so I see in our script here in the next section, so we are going to have a performance by PPI?
PPI? You mean, what PPI? PPI, come on, Dava. Indonesian. All right.
Oh, okay, my bad. Okay. So from PPI, right?
Yes,
So,
PPI.
okay. All right. So what have you heard exactly about PPI? Would you like to tell the audience?
Yeah, so PPI, or Persatuan Pelajar Indonesia, is an organization that consists of Indonesian students that are currently studying abroad. Moreover, after this, we are going to watch PPI's performance. How cool is that? And to top it off, the PPI that will be performing today is PPI in Groningen. Ooh.
Huh? Wait, what? Really? Groningen as in the one in the Netherlands?
Yep, that's right. Amazing how we were able to get such amazing talents to our event today, right?
Yeah, that's honestly really amazing. I'm absolutely blown away that we were able to get an opportunity like this. Well, I guess without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we would proudly present to you PPI Groningen. All right. What a beautiful show, honestly. And thank you very much again to PPI Groningen. And it's honestly amazing how we were able to bring Indonesian talent abroad, don't you think? Like moments like this really make me proud of our culture and really the culture and everything that we have in our nation, right?
Yeah, I agree. And Java, fun fact, Do you know that I used
Mhm.
to learn traditional dance back then in my primary school days? Ooh, like I'm flexing right now.
Huh.
Aren't you
Oh,
impressed?
really?
Yeah, like
Really? That's
honestly,
really, really cool.
yeah,
Mhm.
I used to learn a dance called if you guys are familiar with, like, it's called a Balinese dance. It's like pari
Mhm.
piring and stuff, and but like it's so complex. Like I remember like my hands had to go like this, and then like it had
Like,
to be like 45 degrees and something, and I had to do like, oh, it's like
I
honestly
can't,
like,
I can't even do the hand gestures.
yeah, that's why like huge respect to all of those, to all of us who's a traditional dancer or any dancers out there. Yeah, I mean like complex stuffs, man.
Mhm.
Huge respect.
Absolutely. 2 thumbs up. Hats off to you guys. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, so Dava, but also what I really used to be focused back then in my elementary days. Usually, I filled my
Mhm.
days with yeah, learning traditional dance. And but not only
Mhm.
that, I was also active at my choir club at church.
Oh, choir club. Oh,
Yeah,
really? Hey,
yeah.
that's really cool. By the
No,
way, if it
seriously,
comes
yeah,
to the
yeah.
choir club, it also reminded me of something. Isn't that also just like Swara then? Because that's what I got reminded of, you know?
Well, absolutely, even better. Like, oh, by the way, would you like to tell everyone here about Swara?
Sure thing. So really, Swara is the choir club here that we have in Prasetiya Mulya that aims to help students in Prasetiya Mulya in order to show their talents and hobbies and, channel their passion, in this case, quite obviously within their vocal capabilities and skills, right?
Yeah, yes, and all right. So, without further ado, please welcome the one and only Swara of Universitas Prasetya Mulia.
Tonight I'm gonna have myself a real good time. I feel alive. And the world, it's turning inside out, yeah. I'm floating around in ecstasy, so don't stop me now. Don't stop. 'Cause I'm having a good time, having a good time. Shooting star, leaping through the sky, like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity. I'm a racing car, passing on, like Lego diver. I'm gonna go, 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 there's no stopping me. I'm burning through the sky, yeah. 200 degrees, that's why they call me Mr. Fahrenheit. I'm traveling at the speed of light. I wanna make a supersonic man out of you. Don't stop me now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball. Don't stop me now. If you wanna have a good time, just give me a call. Don't stop me, 'cause I'm having a good time. Don't stop me, 'cause I'm having a good time. I don't wanna stop at all. Oh yeah, I'm burning through the sky, yeah. 200 degrees, that's why they call me Mr. Fahrenheit. I'm traveling at the speed of light. I wanna make a supersonic man out of you. Don't stop me, don't stop me, don't stop me. Don't stop me, don't stop me. Don't stop me, don't stop me, no. Don't stop me, don't stop me, don't stop me, don't stop me, don't stop me now. Don't stop me, don't stop me, ooh, ooh, ooh. Don't stop me, don't stop me, have a good time, good time. Don't stop me, don't stop me, have a good time, good time. Don't stop me now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball. Don't stop me now. If you wanna have a good time, just give me a call. Don't stop me, 'cause I'm having a good time. Don't stop me, 'cause I'm having a good time. I don't wanna stop at all. Don't stop me. No, 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 don't stop me. I don't wanna stop at
200 degrees, that's why they call me Mr. Fahrenheit. I'm traveling at the speed of light. I want to make a supersonic man out of you.
Ding, 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 ding. Ah, what refreshing. From okay, I think someone really
Yes.
gotta stop us, right? Like the lyrics was that like, don't stop me now. But like, if you guys don't stop us now, be swat out by the offensive choir, you know, like you don't want to.
Yeah, and obviously we don't want to steal the show from them because quite obviously they did an amazing job, right? That performance was honestly amazing. Super catchy too. So yeah, in case you couldn't tell, what an energizing performance all the way from Swara. Thank you very much again for the performance, for the super fun and really energizing performance that really even got us MCs out of our box. And anyways, I digress, right? Next, we would like to invite Miss Erika Nofrianti Lucas as the head program of Business Economics to give us a short opening speech.
Good morning, everyone. I hope that you are safe and well wherever you are right now. On behalf of Business Economics Program Universitas Prasetiya Mulya, I would like to welcome you all to CUBE 2021. CUBE, or Competition for University in Business and Economics 2021, is a series of competition events managed by Business Economics Program Universitas Prasetiya Mulya for Indonesian undergraduate students worldwide. I still remember we had a pre-event called Road to CUBE 2021 with the theme of sustainable energy business back in 2020, which has attracted so many participants from Java and outside Java. And this year, we present a broader view of sustainability from business and economics perspective in CUBE 2021. Just like in the business economics program learning process, CUBE aims to demonstrate our commitment to improve university students' ability in analyzing global economic conditions and relevant issues that affect businesses, as well as developing skills and mindsets based on holistic approach. This is actually the fourth time Business Economics Program Universitas Prasetiya Mulya has designed the annual business case competition. And the theme for this year is Doughnut Economics, Where to Start. It's basically a framework for sustainable development by Kate Raworth, shaped like a donut, which has social foundation and ecological ceiling. I don't think it's my place to explain about it further, but it's a very new and interesting topic. I believe all of you cannot wait to get to know it deeper. So CUBE 2021 begins with a series of webinars starting from July, followed by an elimination process leading up to the main event in August. The main event comprises of several webinars, mentorship, case presentation, and quiz contests. It's going to be exciting, and I really appreciate the committee that prepares this event so well since months ago. In this opportunity, I would like to also thank our official case contributor, Unilever Love, Beauty, and Planet, as well as our honorable speakers. It's a huge pleasure and honor to have you here with us. And for all of the participants, I deeply hope that this series of events can be insightful and beneficial for all of you. Stay safe and enjoy CUBE 2021.
Wow, thank you, Miss Erika, for your wonderful speech. And now we would like to welcome the chairman of Bass Association 2020, Louis Turin, to give some opening words. Louis, the stage is yours.
Namo Buddhaya, Namo Maitreya. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Widatong Tien. Your Excellencies, Professor Maria Alka Pangestu, the World Bank Managing Director of Development Policy and Partnerships, Your Excellencies Professor Jisman Simanjuntak, the Rector of Universitas Prasetiya Mulya, distinguished speakers, judges, and participants of the competition and webinar. On behalf of the Business Economics Student Association, let me welcome all of you to the event of CUBE 2021 competition and webinar about doughnut economics, where to start. First and foremost, I would like to give a little bit of background about this event. As business economics students, we consider ourselves as the agent of change that transform businesses amidst the uncertainties that we will constantly be facing in many years to come. So in the spirit of sustainable business development agenda, we formed this event business case competition which incorporates both economics and business perspective into the problem-solving process known as the Competition for University in Business and Economics, or we call it as CUBE, to enable young intelligent mind to solve the world's biggest challenge. This competition is the continuation of BEST Challenge at the higher level and recognized as one of the biggest events held by BEST Association. As COVID-19 pandemic situation has become even more prevalent and the interventions by the government are still being implemented, we have decided to conduct the competition and webinars on a fully online basis. Previously, maybe some of you had already known that last year we created the pre-event of CUBE, or known as Road to CUBE 2021, to introduce you to the one of the biggest and prestigious business analysis competitions in Indonesia. With the huge success of the pre-event last year, we do hope CUBE 2021 may also become a more spectacular and great event. As I have received the information regarding the competition, there are 76 teams that have already registered in the competition and it has already exceeded the target. Therefore, allow me to commend Fanny and team for all of your hard work and to remain holding your head high into finally establishing the best concept for online competition and having us all here, although virtually. I especially would like to show my gratitude towards all stakeholders that already support our event, particularly to Universitas Prasetiya Mulya, Business Economics Program, and our case contributor, PT Unilever Indonesia with its brand Love, Beauty, and Planet. Because of their support and guidance, BEST Association could create this great event, CUBE 2021, as a successful competition and webinar. Lastly, I would like to give my best wishes to all of the teams that already did a great job in solving the case and give their best effort in this competition. But no matter if you win or lose, do remember that the lessons do not come from winning, but it comes from the hardships you have been throughout the process. Also, don't forget to always obey the 5M health protocol by using your mask, keep your social distance one and another at least 1.5 meters, limit social gathering, wash your hand with soap and hand sanitizer, and get vaccinated as soon as possible. Don't be afraid to get vaccinated because the vaccines that are provided by the government are safe, halal, and together we achieve the target of herd immunity in our country, Indonesia, by August 2021. Thank you and best wishes to you all. Namo Ami Dasama Buddhasa.
All right.
Ooh.
Thank you very, very much for your wonderful opening speech, Louis.
Yeah, like big respect to Louis taking off a mask, a symbol so everyone could be safe, even like in this danger times. Yeah, we could say.
Yes, absolutely. And we would like to hope and wish that everyone is safe and sound and is staying at home at the moment. Just, enjoying our show too. And not to mention, it's also one of the reasons as to why we have this entire event online, really, because again, we really, really need to respect the regulations that exist in order to, again, stay safe, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, just like us stay safe at home, it would really help the government to, decrease the COVID numbers and all that. So yeah, just stay
Mhm.
safe. Remember your families. That's why don't go anywhere. Stay at home. Yeah. All right. So, anyways, Zepha,
Yes,
I heard
absolutely.
that Cube 2021 will have a total of 76
Mhm.
teams. Wow, 76 teams. Let
Wow.
us hear
Wait,
your,
seriously?
yeah, like
That's a
76.
lot.
That's a lot. Yeah, and you know that the total prize will be more than 20 million rupiah. Guys, come on. That's so many. Yeah. All
That's a
right. So,
lot. Yeah. Are there possibly any participants here in
of
the
course,
YouTubes?
of course. Okay, we wanted to hear your voices, guys. Okay,
Yes,
who's
absolutely.
I mean, like, mention your team names. Yeah, yeah. We want to hear.
Go
All
ahead, go
right,
ahead, because we really, really want to hear from you guys.
all right. What
Maybe
do we
some
have
excited words
here?
about the event too.
Yeah, yeah. How are you feeling about this? Describe one word that you're feeling today. Yeah.
Okay, sure,
All
sure, sure.
right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. The operator, can you help us up the
Yes,
comment?
please. Hmm.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. So, anyway, Zelf, like, um, I don't know, but I'm
We.
really oh, keren banget. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, this is only just the beginning, right, Dava? Like,
Absolutely. There's way, way, way more to come.
yeah. That's why stay tuned because after this, yeah, the show. I mean, we're going to have like great speakers, awesome. Yeah,
Hmm.
and would you excited? You, oh, yeah, we're
Yeah,
so same
absolutely.
here.
We are also super, super excited for this.
Yeah, all right. So, okay, again, one more. Okay, no,
Hmm.
not one. Oh, inspirative.
We
Oh,
inspired.
wait,
Thank you,
wait.
and fear not, because there will be much more motivations and inspirations in the future with
Yeah,
the
of
speakers that we're going
course.
to have later too. Hmm. Absolutely,
All
guys.
right, of course. So, anyways, Java, before
Mhm.
okay, now we already watch, like everyone's reaction here now in the Zoom. Okay, so now back to our timeline. All right,
Yeah.
right,
All right. All right.
all right. So
All right. So, all right. Back to our timeline, really. So now, before we've had Louis Sherwin as the chairman. Now we will also have the chairman of Cube 2021, Fanny Eka Putri Faisal.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May peace be upon us all. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Welcome, guests and participants, to CUBE 2021. My name is Fania Kaputri Faisal. I am greatly honored to have this opportunity to chair this competition. First of all, it is my privilege and pleasure, on behalf of CUBE 2021's committee, to welcome you here today. We are delighted to have you with us to participate in a meticulous event that we have tailored for you, our annual Business and Economics competition held by Student Association of S1 Business Economics Universitas Prasetiya Mulya, CUBE. I would like to thank each and everyone who has attended this webinar on this beautiful day. I would like to specifically thank Universitas Prasetiya Mulya and Best Association for encouraging our event from the very start. PT Unilever Indonesia and Love, Beauty and Planet for becoming this year's official case contributors. To all sponsors, media partners, and community partners that have endlessly promoted our event, as well as my gratitude to all of the committee members that have been working hard in making this event happen. Without all of your support, CUBE 2021 could not have been run this well. On this very occasion, I would like to welcome you all to the series of event of CUBE 2021 with the theme of Doughnut Economics, Where to Start. which is held online. As you all might be aware, the issues of waste management and environment have immensely encumbered Indonesia's effort for turning sustainable. The urgency to act for sustainability is now greater than ever. With the depleting health of Mother Nature, as well as the lack of response from world institutions, the call to action for sustainable development is imperative. This global emergency must be recognized and attended to in a swift and decisive manner. Leaders must acknowledge the crisis that we are currently in and work to build strategies towards a sustainable future. This task is not just a prerogative of global rulers, but each individual should recognize this responsibility as their own. In that sense, I am very happy to be with the distinguished participants, private sectors, and international organizations to learn from one another and take advantage of their vast expertise. In this competition, I would like to lead the stage to encourage discussion by providing solutions on the relationship of preserving social foundation while maintaining environmental sustainability. There is a need to maintain our social infrastructure and biological sustenance, but while still upholding and preserving the ecological ceiling. In this manner, our world can safely interact and operate within the space that is just for humanity. This predicament serves as the chief issue CUBE 2021 hopes to broach. And in order to catalyze the awareness of sustainability within the younger generation of Indonesia, CUBE strives to facilitate the creation of new solutions in light of this matter. We hope that this event may serve as a beacon and further hone all of our knowledge for the future in the hopes that the ideas we have nurtured may be the key to a more sustainable Indonesia. I hope each and every one of us here learn from one another in ever-interesting discussions with various speakers welcomed in the stage. Thank you once again for your participation. We hope CUBE brings light and positive impact for all of us for the long future of Indonesia. Thank you.
All right. So thank you very much to Fanny for the opening speech, all about the future, the competition to come, right? And before we really get to the competition, I'm still very, very kind of iffy because I still want to know what doughnut economics is more in detail. Don't you think?
Yeah, I've also been curious about doughnut economics, like our topic. Why is it doughnut economics? Like doughnut is a food, economics is a subject. Yeah, like
Exactly. Is this a very interesting way of putting it together, right?
yeah. I mean, like okay, guys, like up your comments down below. Like, what do you think about doughnut economics? Our topic for today. Like, why do you think it's called doughnut economics? And most probably, is there like a conspiracy behind it or something, a deep meaning? Like, I don't know. Up your
Yeah,
guesses.
yeah, because we want to know. Maybe you guys would know a lot more than us, quite obviously, and we just really, really want to know from you guys what you guys think about it. If you guys have heard things about it,
Yeah.
please,
All
please
right.
go forth.
I wanted to see your comments. All right. So, because we're on the StreamYard, we cannot see the live video comments. So, can we ask the help of our friends from the operator team? Yeah.
Yes, yes,
All right.
please.
From Azza, Melinda, Pratibi, motivation.
Motivation. Hey, I mean that can work. I get motivated by food. I'm motivated by food a lot, so I mean that can work.
Oh no, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, another one, Zulfa. Funny name, but
See,
interesting. Yeah. It makes you wonder, like, why
Yes.
donut economics? Before he said motivation, maybe, just maybe. It's like you wanted to study economics, but you wanted to get yourself motivated first, so you eat a donut to get you motivated to study economics. Oh, what? Yeah.
hey, I mean that can work. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Okay, one more. Okay, guess our topic. Boundaries.
Oh, we have a very interesting one.
Yeah. Can you tell us? Can you mention
I mean, boundaries between social foundation. That's similar to what Miss Erica mentioned, right? Hey, that
Yeah.
can be the foundation of it. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, thank you. That's a very, very interesting point already.
Oh, another one, Davina. The donut economic is a renewable economy that can save the planet and human civilization. Ooh, love it.
Ah.
Thank you, Davina. All right, so but before continuing, we wanted to give a huge appreciation to the operator team. Yeah, thank you for helping us up the comments and making this stream really nice and
Yes,
smooth.
absolutely.
All right, so okay,
Absolutely.
back
Hey,
to our
maybe
show.
we can see the previous comments. There were a couple of previous comments
Oh,
just
yeah,
now,
yeah,
right?
yeah. All right. Okay, up the
hmm
comments.
Yes, yes,
All
yes,
right.
yes. Could you up the previous ones?
Okay.
I
Oh,
think
maybe
there was also something about sustainability. hmm
maybe all of you guys out there, do you wanna write like, I don't know, just like what you guys think, just write it down, because like Dava said, the participation of you guys will be like noted, and who knows,
Yes,
you're gonna be the winners of
absolutely.
one of the 9 lucky winners. Yeah. Okay,
hmm
maybe the
hmm
operators can help us up one more comment. All right. Okay. Oh, Dafa, I just remembered that we also have, like, today is not only the only webinar. Like, we have more webinars upcoming.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Almost forgot to mention right in the beginning, but this will not be the only webinar that Cube will be hosting because there will be way, way more to come within the next month or two. So
Yeah.
actually, I think we can mention the next one right now. So next one, take note of this. The next one will be right on the 7th of August, and it will also be an orbit one, and it will start right from 10 a.m. All right,
Yeah,
7th
and then
August, 24th of August, 26th of August, and 28th of August. Take notes of all of these because they all will be very, very informative and very, very important.
yeah, exactly. And like, just a spoiler to you guys, like on the 7th August, we have the co-founder of Evo and Co. And then we also have the
That's
head
interesting.
corporate affairs and sustainability at PT Unilever Indonesia. How cool is that? And our moderator, we will have like the Hong Kong digital champion and currently working at L'Oreal Indonesia. Wow. How good is that? Okay.
There's a lot more to come, guys. So don't you worry, really. Like, oh my god, like I'm already blown away by this first event. By the way, even from the performances alone, I'm already very, very impressed. So like, I really, really, genuinely can't wait to see what the future has to come.
Yeah, that's why, guys, mark
But
your
all right, all
dates,
right.
mark your dates, right? Because it's gonna
Mhm,
be awesome. But like, speaking of which, Dafa, like, I think we have to
mhm.
go back to our timeline. As much as we're having fun right now,
Okay.
we have to go back to our timeline, right? Yeah. So we wanted to say thank you, Fanny, for the opening speech. And now, guys, we're
Mhm.
going to hear another speech brought to you by the one and only Rector of Universitas Prasetiya Mulya. Give it up for Mr. Jisman Simanjuntak.
Satu.
Selamat pagi, saudara-saudara. Peserta CUBE hari ini yang akan membahas atau mendiskusikan doughnut economics dari key reward. Bagi saya, the big ideas dari doughnut economics adalah holistic economics. Ilmu ekonomi yang mengembara jauh melewati batas-batas ilmu ekonomi yang sekarang kita pelajari di fakultas-fakultas atau program studi ekonomi. Mari kita ingat-ingat beberapa fitur yang utama dari ilmu ekonomi yang kita pelajari sekarang, yang saya sebut ekonomi tradisional atau ekonomi ortodoks. Yang pertama, ilmu ini sangat homosentrik. Kita tidak memasukkan kehidupan selain manusia di dalam model-model ilmu ekonomi sampai dengan baru-baru ini. Yang kedua, ilmu ekonomi seperti kita pelajari sangat myopik. Hanya tentang hari ini dan di sini, the now and here. Kita tidak mempelajari banyak tentang masa depan yang jauh, begitu juga masa silam yang jauh. It's only the now. Kita juga tidak berbicara tentang atmosfer atau laut dalam. Kita hanya berbicara tentang rumah tangga konsumen, rumah tangga negara, dan rumah tangga produsen. It's only the here. We don't care about what is happening ke es kutub, apa yang terjadi atas pemanasan bumi, dan seterusnya. Juga kita ingat ilmu ekonomi yang sekarang adalah sangat selfish, very selfish. In fact, ilmu ekonomi mainstream yang kita pelajari itu didasarkan atas yang disebut individualisme metodologik dari von Hayek. Jadi maksimasi dan minimasi itu didasarkan atas kepentingan individual. Perusahaan pun pada dasarnya adalah proyeksi dari kepentingan individual. Ilmu ekonomi kita praktis adalah buta tentang sociality. Kalau ada dampak ekonomi yang melewati individu, kita sebut itu externalities. Walaupun ilmu ekonomi juga mempelajari instrumen yang bisa dipakai menghadapi externalities. We are kind of moral hubris. Sangat congkak, overconfident. We overestimate the human ingenuity. Padahal kita tahu banyak peristiwa yang tidak bisa dipecahkan oleh manusia dan kita letakkan di bawah karpet. Contoh yang sangat aktual adalah pandemik COVID-19 sekarang. Kita praktis tidak berdaya menghadapi itu. Kita juga sering membuat kebodohan seperti perang. Kita praktis tidak menghormati alam, disrespect for nature. Robert Wilson, seorang naturalis, sangat menggarisbawahi ini dengan kaitan dengan climate change yang kita hadapi sekarang. Semua ini needs to be unlearned. Unlearning this myopia, unlearning this homocentrism, unlearning this very individualistic approach adalah langkah yang perlu bagi kita untuk menghargai konsep yang holistik seperti doughnut economics. Mengapa kita tiba pada keadaan yang sekarang? Bullet yang pertama, evolusi yang sangat panjang menghadapkan manusia pada kelangkaan yang luar biasa. Segala sesuatu langka. Kita terjerumus dalam perangkap Malthus. Rezeki alam dalam kaitan dengan pengadaan pangan. Kelangkaan inilah yang membuat kita menjadi sangat selfish. Sangat selfish. Seperti dibahas oleh Richard Dawkins di dalam bukunya yang sekarang jadi klasik, The Selfish Gene. Very selfish. Kemudian sekitar tahun 1930-an, John Maynard Keynes menulis The General Theory yang pada intinya bertumpu atas pengeluaran rumah tangga dan negara untuk memacu pertumbuhan ekonomi. Itu adalah antithesis dari supply side economics, ekonomi klasik yang sebelumnya. Dan sesudah itu memang dunia mengalami pertumbuhan tinggi yang luar biasa sampai sekitar awal tahun 1970-an sejak akhir Perang Dunia Kedua. The General Theory yang mengandalkan spending. Spending, spending, spending. Consumption, consumption, consumption. Investment, investment, investment. Kita lalu terjerumus di dalam gaya hidup affluence, gaya hidup kelimpahan, gaya hidup ubiquity, gaya hidup yang didasarkan atas asumsi bahwa segala sesuatu akan dapat disediakan oleh manusia. Moral hubris. Tapi saudara-saudara, tahun 1972, seorang ekonom dari Inggris, perempuan, John Robinson, menulis The Second Crisis in Economic Theory, yang intinya adalah kritik atas Keynes. Teori Keynes yang in a way membutakan kita tentang dampak buruk konsumsi kita terhadap lingkungan hidup. Jadi sebagai kritik sudah lama kita menyadari bahwa the Keynesian economics and the other paradigms in economics tidak sustainable. Tahun yang sama juga terbit The Limits to Growth dari Club of Rome. Sejak itu, ekonomi kelangkaan menjadi paling tidak sebagai kritik sudah menjadi bagian dari ilmu-ilmu sosial. Tetapi ilmu ekonomi seperti ditulis dalam buku teks masih tetap seperti bullet kedua terakhir slide saya. Tapi sebagai kritik, kelangkaan sudah menjadi kesadaran ekonomi. Dan keperluan atas ekonomi yang didasarkan atas kelangkaan sudah menjadi bagian penelitian yang penting. Tahun 92, the first assessment report dari IPCC, International Panel on Climate Change, diterbitkan yang menggarisbawahi the imperative of keeping warming at less than 2 degrees Celsius dibanding pre-industrial. Dan itu hanya bisa kalau kita merevolusi konsumsi kita. Saya menyebut di sini, we need to transition dari lifestyle of abundance, lifestyle of ubiquity, lifestyle of affluence, ke suatu lifestyle yang baru. Saya coba menyebutnya homeostatic lifestyle. Konsumsi seperti apa perlunya. Jangan konsumsi yang didasarkan atas kelimpahan. Tahun 2018, IPSP menerbitkan laporannya yang pertama, IPSP dari PBB, International Panel on Social Progress. Laporannya berjudul Rethinking Society for the 21st Century. Intinya sama, tapi laporan ini lebih luas dari IPCC report. Jadi di dalam Rethinking Society for the 21st Century, IPCC report is only part. IPSP merekomendasikan resetting. Everything needs to be reset. Homeocentrisme menjadi bioekonomi. Myopik diganti dengan ilmu ekonomi yang peduli tentang horizon waktu, masa silam yang jauh maupun masa depan yang jauh. Resetting spatial perspektif dari hanya di sini menjadi atmosferik, bahkan dari selfish resetting menjadi sosial. Selfishness transition to sociality. Dan ini penting sekali. Teori ekonomi pasar yang kita pelajari sekarang seolah-olah adalah pasar yang telanjang, naked market. Tidak terlihat kerangka moralnya. Padahal kita tahu Adam Smith sebelum menulis Inquiry into the Nature of Wealth, menulis dahulu the theory of moral sentiments. Moral sentiments dulu, baru inquiry into wealth. Nah, saudara-saudara, resetting dan doughnut economics is one way of doing resetting. Doughnut economics patut kita pelajari, patut kita push, patut kita dalami, walaupun kita harus sadari bahwa untuk bisa paling tidak mengakomodasi sebagian dari doughnut economics, hanya sebagian. we have to unlearn the shortcomings of the current paradigm in economic theory. Dan saya tahu itu tidak mudah, tetapi seperti guru saya pernah mengatakan, Daud Yusuf, garis adalah kumpulan titik-titik yang sambung menyambung. Dengan mempelajari holistic economics, mempelajari reportnya IPSP, mempelajari reportnya IPCC, mempelajari kembali moral yang menjadi pakaian dari ilmu ekonomi, terutama pasar. I think slowly kita akan membuat kemajuan untuk meletakkan ilmu ekonomi dalam konteks yang lebih duniawi, lebih biological, dan dengan demikian bagi mahasiswa muncul tantangan yang luar biasa. Bagaimana doughnut economics ini kita pahami dengan lebih baik, walaupun saya percaya waktu yang panjang akan masih berlalu sampai kita mempunyai textbook yang mirip dengan holistic economics atau doughnut economics. Saudara-saudara peserta CUBE hari ini, saya undang untuk mencoba melihat menggunakan perspektif doughnut economics ini untuk melihat masalah-masalah besar, the fundamental problems yang kita hadapi dewasa ini. Selamat belajar dan terima kasih.
All right. So first of all, we would like to say from all of us, really, thank you very much to Pak Jisman for the amazing and extremely insightful speech. And this really, really opened up our eyes towards this whole issue, right, of being holistic and everything.
Yeah.
What a great speech, honestly.
Yeah, not to mention that Pak Jisman also mentioned that let's not be like too affluent people, but like more of adopting like the homocentric approach of like buying
Yes.
we need. Yeah. And oh, actually, remember how you asked about doughnut economics? Just right
Oh
now?
yeah.
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 Aren't you curious, like, to find out like what it really means and everything?
Yes, I'm very, very curious. That's why I asked twice.
Yeah, like we promised that we were going to understand as the show goes on, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I really, really hope this promise still applies for all of us, right?
Of course, like, and well, I have some great news for all of us because right now we're going to find out more about doughnut economics, and for that reasons, we have the co-founder and strategic lead at Doughnut Economics Action Labs themselves. Please welcome Carlota Sanz.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for the invitation. It's a real pleasure to be a part of this series of events in CUBE 2021. My name is Carlota Sanz. I'm co-founder of Doughnut Economics Action Lab, where we are taking the ideas of doughnut economics and turning them into transformative practice to create economies where people and planet thrive in balance. And so yeah, as I'm saying, it's a real pleasure being with you today. I hope that what I'm going to be sharing is going to inspire students in Indonesia that have chosen to take part of this initiative. And so, yeah, I hope it's really interesting to you. And I want to start my presentation today by reflecting around how the 21st century has begun. Because unfortunately, the 21st century has been a century of repeated crisis. From the financial crisis in 2008 that impacted in one way or the other many places in the world. We are living in the era of climate collapse. And more recently, we are experiencing the hardness of the crisis generated by COVID-19. And these crises are hitting the world hard and are highlighting the great inequalities that persist of race and gender, of wealth and power between some countries and others. But also, we need to recognize that these crises are showing us that we are deeply interconnected with each other and with the living world. And they show us that these crises are arising from the systems that humans have created. And so I think that we really need a new vision for the 21st century. And funny as it sounds, I'm going to offer it in the shape of a donut. So what's the doughnut? Well, the doughnut is a concept developed by my colleague, the economist Kate Raworth, and it offers a radical new vision to guide human prosperity in the 21st century, where the aim is to leave no one falling short of the essentials of life in the middle, so short of water, food, health, education. Now, it's really important to see that these social foundation were all pro-sourced from the Sustainable Development Goals, which means that all the governments in the world have agreed that every person has a claim in meeting these essential needs. So we need to leave no one falling short, but at the same time, we need to be within planetary boundaries. So we cannot overshoot the ecological ceiling. So what's the ecological ceiling? Well, it's made out of 9 planetary boundaries that keep this unique, delicately balanced planet a sweet home for humanity and all species here with us. So the aim is to meet the needs of all people within the means of the living planet, and therefore live inside of the safe and just space of humanity that brings the donut. Now, if this is the new goal, the truth is that we're very far from reaching it, because all the red in this image shows the extent to which people are falling short on the essentials of life and the extent into which we're already overshooting planetary boundaries. So billions of people are falling short on the essentials of life, for instance, in terms of food. This little red wedge that comes out here shows that 11% of the world's population right now still doesn't have enough food to eat today. And while there are still human deprivation worldwide, we have already collectively overshooted 4 of the planetary boundaries, right? So climate change is hitting harder and sooner. There's been excessive use of fertilizer on Earth, excessive land conversion, and catastrophic biodiversity loss. So the challenge is that we need to eliminate all the red that we're seeing in this image. And this has never been done before. So we need to come inside the donut from both sizes, the ecological and the social. And this is a really new challenge in the 21st century. So we are the first generation to see this and to realize that we need new solutions if we want to tackle this problem. Because last century's economic theories, conventional business models, or even traditional development policies were not designed to address this challenge. And so looking at this situation at the world right now, and following the words of the American writer William S. Burroughs, after taking a look to this planet, any visitor from outer space could say, I want to see the manager. And we wonder, well, who would we take him to see? And we could take him to see many groups, many people, many stakeholders in society, from government, political leaders, education. But I've chosen today to take it and see business. So what happens when business meets the donut. What does it mean for the world of businesses? What happens when businesses respond or have to respond to the challenge that the donut brings to them? Well, over the past years, we've had fascinating conversations with companies of all kinds, from 3-person social enterprises, startups, to multinational companies. Here's some of the companies that we've spoken to of that have told us that they've used the donut when discussing their business within and the challenges that it brings. And what's fascinating is the massive responses that we are hearing coming from businesses, and the variety of responses of what a business chooses to do when this challenge comes to them. And we've summarized these responses in what we call the corporate to-do list. And the first response that we've kept hearing, especially before, it's the oldest, which is do nothing. You know, the state of humanity, it's an important affair, but as Milton Friedman said, the business of business is business. And because everything that we're doing, it's nearly legal, we're just gonna keep doing it until the cost of breaking the law exceeds the profits. And now this mindset is really not gonna take us anywhere, anywhere where we wanna be in the 21st century. And I think that we're seeing that this response is no longer almost an option for businesses in this century. So the first step up is to do what it pays now. And we have seen a lot of this when we hear CEOs saying, well, if we're gonna cut or save money by cutting carbon emissions in our supply chains, then we will do that. If we're gonna gain new customers by getting a niche certification, then we will do that. And yes, this is starting to go in the right direction, but it's far too incremental and far too slow for the scale of change that it's needed. So the next level up that we wanna see, it's companies saying, well, we're doing our fair share. And we're seeing a lot of this in the past decade, where national leaders would say, for instance, well, we're cutting our carbon emissions by 20 in the next 20 years. And so CEOs come and say, well, we will also cut our carbon emissions by 20 in the next 20 years. And the problem with doing your fair share, though, is that too quickly it can slip in the minds of some companies into thinking, well, what's my fair share to take? What's my fair share of the world's carbon budget? And I think that we also need to move rapidly past of these mindsets, and we need to go and to aim for the next level, which is doing zero carbon emissions in our supply chains, have zero human rights abuses in our supply chains. And this is starting to really be transformative because businesses have never done this before. So also, then now we need to think, well, why set ourselves to do no harm when we can actually go one step beyond and break the ceiling of our imaginations and do good, become generous and be positive and do the donut, right? So these are companies that on seeing the donut, they say, well, we exist to do this. We exist to achieve these goals and to bring humanity into this safe and just space. So what does it take to do business in the donut? Well, I think that we need to transform fundamentally two of the dynamics in our economies, and we need to be creating businesses that are distributive by design and regenerative by design. So I'm going to be talking a bit about what we mean by these two dynamics. So the first one, we need to recognize that we have inherited degenerative industrial system where we are taking Earth's materials, we're making into stuff, we're using them for a while, often once, and then we're throwing them away. And this linear take, make, use, lose dynamic is what is pushing us out of planetary boundaries. And this is how it looks like. This is how it looks like when we take again and again and again from Earth's resources. And this is what it looks like when we throw plastics into our lakes and rivers, and when we throw waste again and again and again into Earth sinks, right? And into our poorest neighborhoods in the world. And sincerely, I believe that our great children will look at these pictures and they will ask us, well, did you know about this? Were you aware of how we were treating our earth and also our human fellows? And they will understand that we had to turn around these arrows and create a system that was cyclical and regenerative by design. So how does this work? Well, we first need to separate our biological nutrients and allow nature to do their thing and regenerate while capturing value at each stage of decomposition of nature's materials. And on the other hand, we have also the technical nutrients. So all of human-made materials, we need to mimic nature's processes by restoring, repairing, reusing, refurbishing, and only ultimately recycling them. And this is how we will come to work and live with and within the cycles of the living world. This is an economy that will run out of renewable energy, where the key principle is that food from waste from one process becomes food from the next one. And therefore, it would be also an economy that is modular by design. So something can be designable, taken apart, and just the piece that needs repairing will be repaired. It's an economy where we will move from ownership of washing machines and cars and light bulbs to actually renting the services of laundry or mobility or lighting. And this is an example of a company that is putting itself to this challenge to becoming regenerative by design, working with and within the cycles of the living world. So back in the 1990s, I would say that Interface would have admitted that they were doing nothing. But then their CEO, Ray Anderson, he saw a presentation about cradle to cradle design, and he had this kind of epiphany and was determined to really transform the company. So he set out to be mission zero, to become 100% renewable energy by 2020, to run on the principle that waste from one process is food for the next process. And that's how they they made over 90% drop in factory waste since 1996, which is huge. And still, this is still mission zero, because now the interesting thing is to see how Interface is setting themselves to the next level, to becoming regenerative and to do the donut, right? So they are reintegrating materials that have been dispersed into the living world back into the process. So they're buying these used and discarded fishing nets from fishermen in the Philippines and turning them back into carpets. But further still, there's this image of the factory in New South Wales, and they've started to ask themselves, well, what would happen if the factories truly belong to the ecosystem into which they belong? So what would happen if these factories aim to do nature's genius, right? So how does nature sequester carbon here? How much groundwater does she store? How much does she purify the air? How much soil does she create? How much does she cool the climate from the treetops to the floors? And how much biodiversity is housed here? And what would it happen, or what would it mean for the factories? For the factories to actually do the same, right? What would it mean for the factories to sequester as much carbon, to store as much groundwater, to purify the air, to create as much soil, to cool the climate, just as the forest does, and house as much biodiversity? And so this is an example of a company that is in this journey. And this is only one part of the story. We were saying we need to create companies also that are distributive by design. So what does this mean? Well, we need to recognize that most companies that we've been celebrating in the 20th century, they were designed in a centralized way, capturing as much value as possible for those who own the company. But what we need to be creating is companies in the 21st century that are far more distributive by design and that are aiming to share value more equitable with all who co-create it. And what does this mean in practice? What would it mean to have dynamics in businesses that are distributive by design? Well, here's some examples from employee ownership, like they have in John Lewis partnership in the UK, or in Huawei phones in China, but not only caring about the well-being of employees, but about the well-being of everyone throughout the supply chain. So paying living wages and ensuring ethical purchasing practice throughout supply chains worldwide. But also open design. I know this might look like a rock concert, but it's actually a software developers conference for the company Drupal, which makes open source software in their company for websites. And it's interesting to reflect how orthodox economic theory argues that without intellectual property, innovators have no incentive to bring about new products. But the truth is that more and more innovators and co-creators are questioning this belief and are co-creating open source free software and hardware with a passion and ambition that I'm sure the major corporations in the world would envy. But also taking tax commitments, not fair tax commitments, which is, for instance, being taken like by companies like Lush Cosmetics in the UK. They've taken this commitment to pay the right amount of tax in the right place at the right time, whereas we know that many companies spend huge amount of money ensuring that they are paying the least amount of tax in the few places as little as possible. So what is your company or the company that you're thinking about on the scale from doing nothing to do the donuts with being regenerative and distributive by design at the top? Because many executives tells us, well, by looking at this list, I can see that we're actually at different places, right? On the one hand, we can see that our CEO is speaking to do the donut, but really managers are being incentivized to do what it pays. And also we might see companies that are really aiming to do mission zero on climate change, yet they are still having issues or doing nothing on human rights throughout their supply chains. So the question is, can business do business in the donut? What it means that some companies are at the bottom of the corporate to-do list and some others are already at the top, aiming to be distributive and regenerative by design. And the answer, I believe, doesn't only lie on the design of their products or their services. The answer lies in the design of the business itself. And so in the 20th century, extractive enterprises had a very dominant question, which said, well, how much financial value can we extract from this enterprise? But if you talk to the leaders and the founders and the CEOs of the most dynamic 21st century companies, they are in fact asking a very different question. And this is, how many benefits can we generate in the way we design this enterprise? So benefits for the suppliers, for our clients, for the living world, for our owners, for our investors, but all of these benefits in balance, right? In balance with each other. So what is it that is leaving some companies trapped in this extractive mindset, while others are already dancing in the space of regenerative and distributive by design? Because we can all think of companies that sit at both sides of the post, right? And I think there are 5 key design traits that were set out by the brilliant corporate analyst Marjorie Kelly that really determine whether a company can actually pivot towards a generative enterprise. So let me talk to you about these design traits. The first one is the purpose. What is the company's purpose? Why does it exist? What purpose is it in service to? Is it only serving maximizing its own returns, or is it here in service of a greater, bigger purpose, far greater than itself, to which is merely contributing? So for instance, the Danish oil natural gas company must have had really amazing and fascinating conversations back in the day around their purpose, because they moved out of fossil fuels 100% into renewable energy. And as a result, they had to even rename themselves to show clearer that purpose in their name, right? But also, what about the networks? How is your company networked? How is it relating to its customers, to its suppliers, to its industry partners, and who are they? Are these aligned with the purpose and values of the business, or are these trapped in a business mentality and culture that is working against them? For instance, the renewable energy company Good Energy UK builds tight networks with its customers, with its suppliers, and its industry ecosystem, and lets them know about each other. So there is this strong sense of network, which is holding the business and the company together to its values when times get tough and they're under pressure. And what about the governance? What are the principles and practices? What are the metrics, the incentives, the culture, the norms? And of course, extractive enterprise had a very strict quarterly mindset, right? The quarter was the king. Every quarter, financial directors must show that they're growing sales, that they're growing profits, that they're growing market share to keep investors happy. But in the generative enterprise, governance is playing a very different role, and it's used to lock up wider set of values. So for instance, some companies are becoming big corporations, writing into their articles of association that they are here not only to maximize shareholder value, but also to deliver social and environmental value. The former CEO of Unilever, Paul Bowman, once said, look, we are no longer issuing quarterly reports. So if you're here for such a short-term returns, you're in the wrong company. But also, for instance, examples like Triodos Bank, they've told us that all of their staff meet in their headquarters once a week, 30 minutes, to discuss about their purpose, because that sets the tone for the whole week. So purpose, networks, and governance, these are all three easier design traits to change. But let's go one step deeper. What happens when we look at ownership? How is the company owned? Is it owned by its founding entrepreneurs, founding families, entrepreneurs, its employees? Is it owned by investors? Because all these different design types of ownership will really determine the fifth design trait, which is finance and the quality of finance. So what is the finance demanding in this company? Is it demanding only financial and fast returns? Or is it here to also look for the long term and to create social and environmental value with a fair financial return? And of course, there's a big question of what is it a fair return, right? So I truly believe that these 5 design traits profoundly shape what a company can do and can be in the 21st century. And with them in mind, we can also see clearly that some companies are becoming a bit split and holding tensions amongst these traits, because aiming to do good in the world, they began by rewriting their purposes, perhaps adjusting some other metrics, becoming part of like-minded networks. But then within the property and finance, the truth is that things kept being unchanged. And so they're very likely to be dragged into different directions. And maybe that's exactly what happened to Unilever back in 2017, where their purpose of the company was set out in their sustainable living plan, and it was clearly aiming to contribute to a much better world, and it was supported by a very ambitious set of measurable goals and metrics, and they even joined really ambitious networks of NGOs and other organizations claiming and calling for action on climate change and water safety. But when it became to the ownership and finance, the company remained owned by the stakeholders, which were apparently stuck in the old question of getting a higher return earlier. And it seems that this is what led to a wholesale offer of acquisition of Kraft Heinz and 3G Capital back in the day. And it's really interesting to see this example, because we're seeing this pattern repeated in a growing number of companies, of purpose and governance and networks pointing into one direction, while property and finances are being pulled into the other. So what would it take to rotate 5 traits into the direction of generative enterprise? Think of the company that you're part of the one that you're thinking to start, the one that you're designing, and think what design traits are pushing this company back to operate extractively. And what would it mean to change them? And also think, well, which design traits are already enabling this enterprise to become generative, and what more could it be done to continue to progress in that direction? So in summary, imagine putting a company in the doughnut's heart and ask yourself, well, is the way that this company is making money, is it helping humanity moving to the doughnut, or is it bringing it out further out of it? So where's your company in the corporate to-do list, from doing nothing to doing the doughnut and being regenerative and distributive by design? And finally, think about the fundamental features of this company that will really determine whether they can actually do it: its purpose, its networks, its governance, its ownership, its finance. And of course, that companies will not be able to change everything by themselves. We need equally ambitious transformation in many other areas, in many other systems. We need to create new laws, new policies. We need to bring the necessary transformation within the financial and investment sector into international trade. And what is the new culture, the new education that is needed in society? So finally, yeah, don't forget, what does it take as a whole to bring us into the doughnut? Right. So I hope that you've been that you found this interesting, and if you want to find more, then I invite you to visit Doughnut Economics Action Lab. We've created this platform to actually empower and connect change makers that are working not only in businesses but in governments, in cities, in education, in communities, to bring the ideas of Doughnut Economics into action in the different contexts. And we're really just delighted of seeing how much energy and stories of what's happening in the world. So I really invite you to visit us and to connect us, because we really think that it's very powerful to bring these ideas through self-organizing groups and communities that are putting into action in a world and in a moment, in a decade when there is really no time to change. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the very best for the competition and the rest of the conference.
All right. Okay, Dava, I think you have your mic on mute.
All right, got it. Yeah.
What a great and very insightful material from Miss Carlos, right? Before, we've not only know about doughnut economics, but she really thoroughly explained brief description about the whole doughnut economics. Yeah.
Yes,
So I bet you guys
completely
already learned what is doughnut economics and stuff, right? Okay. Let's see. Can we see maybe up comments, one or two comments? What do you guys think? What have you learned?
Go ahead, guys. We want to see what you guys think, because personally for me, I know I was the one that was asking about doing economics, and I definitely learned what it really means and everything about it. Definitely helped me understand, and now it makes a lot more sense now as to why
exactly.
we should put it. Yeah.
I didn't realize that the environment of this world was so damaging, and how doughnut economics of applying those principles could one day make our earth green again.
Yeah. It's a really good solution, a perfect sort of like a support level for a company to withhold. It's a really good idea. Yeah.
Okay, so can we see your comments, guys? Just comment one or two sentences. What do you guys get from the brief description we got from Ms. Carlson's? Yeah. Okay. We would like to ask help for the operation to up a few comments. Yeah. All right. from William. It's really interesting. Yeah,
Really.
I just
Yeah, it
knew.
is really, really interesting. I
Yeah.
do completely agree with that.
All right. So, well, anyways, so far there were lots of incredible performance. We already see Suara, we see PPI, right? And then we
Mhm.
got brief speeches from Mr. Chisma, Ms. Kalutasan, and the committees. I really did not expect all this, right, from the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. Right from the beginning, right from the first event, right? But
Yeah.
yes, even with all this, we know what y'all have been waiting for, and right now, let's just dive right into it, right? Let's hop right into the main event of today, in which will be brought to you all by our own moderator, Javier Luquito. Everyone, please welcome him onto the stage.
Woo! Okay. Hi,
All
Jeff.
right, let's get him on.
Okay.
Okay, I'm live right now.
Hey.
Hi, Jeff. Great
All
to
right.
see you
Hello there,
here.
Jeff.
Hello there, nice
you?
to have you guys opening the event.
Great to
Yes.
have you here. You good?
Mhm.
You're excited?
Of course,
Really great to
I'm
have you
very
here.
excited because donut economy for me is a very new thing, and I'm eager to learn more about donut economy. In which in this talk of the days we will talk with two of our speakers today regarding to see how they implement donut economy into their daily business.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. And we're very glad to have you here because we know how much of an excellent moderator you would be towards these speakers, because we obviously, just like all of the viewers here, we bet that we would want to get the most information possible, right? And who else would we invite apart from you? Because yeah. So thank you very much for being here.
Thanks for the very heartwarming welcome, Dafa.
Yes. And
Yeah.
hey, before we really get into any of the serious business, would you like to introduce yourself to the audience first?
Yeah.
Okay,
As
thank you. Yes, Tiffany?
as I mean, like for us Prasmulians, I mean, like majority of us already know you. Like I mean, like, yeah. For your information, Javier is a very famous moderator and also MC. But well, for
Yes.
those who are not in Prasetiya Mulya, because this is like a it's an open well, everyone can watch this YouTube, right? So yeah, introduce yourself, Javier, like as an anak gaul lah, like intro lah, kayak yeah, intro. Salted.
Thank you for sugarcoating my profile. So to be honest, I'm just a regular moderator and MC. I'm very eager to talk with speakers, and today I'm assigned to talk with two of our speakers, Mr. Albert and Ms. Melinda, in regards of talking about donut economy in their business practice in the daily life. So I hope you are enjoying this. And thank you for Dafa and Tiffany for the introduction. And I think from this on, I'm going to take over your screen. All right.
All right. All right. Well, the stage is all yours, Jeff. We'll see you later.
Thank you, Dafa and Tiffany. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Okay, thanks for the bumper. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Javier Luquito, and today I'm acting as your moderator in regards of the talk this afternoon. This afternoon, we'll be talking with two of our speakers. First is Mr. Albert, and the second is Miss Melinda. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to our first speaker. He is our own lecturer in Universitas Prasetiya Mulya. He's teaching in business economics. He had his PhD in University of Sydney, Australia, since July 2014 to December 2018. And since 2019, he is actively teaching in Universitas Prasetiya Mulya. Let's welcome our first speaker, Mr. Albert Hasudungan. Mr. Albert, the stage is yours.
Okay, hello. How are you guys? Thank you to invite me in this event of the Donut Economics. So thank you guys for all your speech. You know, this is very interesting that Donut Economics is about sharing and it's about power of individual and and community. So, you know, we need to specific highlights ends on that one. So, without further waiting, guys, could you present my PPT or should I share in here? Okay. So, in this stage, I will deliver about the social innovations to encounter natural resource scarcity. Why I do the natural resource scarcity? Because you know this is the first scarcities that made and then drawbacks in the humanities. Can you go to the next slides? Hello, guys. Hello. Okay. So today I'm just a speech, on one slide, but I will fulfill, this is about the history, and like Sukarno said, history is repeating, history that in the past, with always, happening, now. So it's important to acknowledge the power of the past and the power of now. So both of them are important. So since I take from the history, I will I will look ahead, on the problem of humanity. Why social innovations there? Why it's called a social innovation, not just innovation. So if you go to the left, upper left, so in the 18th centuries, human being obstacled with the natural resource scarcity. So if you know about the Malthus, he says that human populations grow exponentially, but the natural resources just they grow, but they just grow arithmetically. So with that kind of the situations, when we rely on the individual perspective, when the solutions was relied on individual, in that one, I think it's the dark, dark periods, that humans being stuck in there, because they just says that the more you accrue, the more you get wealth. But this law of the principle in the principle of the overcarrying capacities did not prevail, in that Malthusians. In that one, like the people and the human has been on the drawback sides. Then like why I like to go to the Joseph Schumpeter, when I was bachelor degree, I learned by, I think, one of my like economic history lectures. He's from I get he's from Hamburg, and then I learned also the economic development, and then it's about the natural resource and agriculture economics. That's why like I'm still starting from there. I'm very interested with this kind of the of the literature introduced by Joseph Schumpeter. And then when I took my master in the I went to Australia, but I known with one I think he is the German scientist, German economist, but he teaches in Australia. So uh, when I was took bachelor degree, I just get 3 or 4 paper from Joseph Schumpeter. But like when I took the master, he gave me this book. When I learned in this book, from Joseph Schumpeter, that when the human being in the catastrophe, they cannot rely on individually on themselves. Innovations comes from the from the power of sharing. He said like this: when you draw more, when you become individualistic, you will lose more. I just I just reparaphrase, but he said that when you sacrifice more, you will retain more. So he introduced the power of individual and the power of the society. So he said that social innovations can be, formed when the society, exchange the ideas, because it's enriching. What kind of the solutions? It enriching about the what kind of the alternative solutions that you can uh, took that you can take, and then what are the best possible solutions, and then like from that it can overcome scarce natural capital. And then secondly, uh, in the essay of the Schumpeter, he introduced about the creative destructions to existing production system. I think the story it started that like when you have empire, individual empire, like individual business, you can start become I know everything, uh, uh, it's like empire that that rely on the individualistic value, but he said that when you rely on the individual alone, your business empire will have a catastrophe. Why? Because when there was a good existing production system, the community will respond. So there was an institutional response, and Joseph Schumpeter says that in that one, when the society respond to the individual empire, there will be like he said the new social innovations that can overcome this individual empire. So he said that the innovation is not always static. Innovation is always dynamic and flexible. And he says that innovations always, bring creative distractions to the existing production system. Because he said that the power of sacrifice more will get more retaining. It says that when you exchange more information, you get new value, you get a new solutions, and then you can overcome the I think the old solutions to solve the problem. This is one history in the 18th century and 20th century, and then come again. I think it's in 1968. This is from medieval English. The name is Hardin. Hardin saw that when the populations become increasing, so it comes to the analogy of herds. When herds eat the grass, and then one of the of the people that own grass will let the animals eat the grass. So it become a common property. And he said that a common property, based on the individual value, it will it will lead to the open access resource, and naturally it will be lead to the environmental destructions. Like Hardin made the theory about about the introductions of law, and introductions of individualistic approach to the natural resource scarcity. But history come again, repeating again. Many people, many scientists object with what Hardin said. It's not only about the individual. It's not only when you get more, you can have profit more. But like come, that his theory, his proposition did not prevail, and in all conditions, yeah, especially in developing country. But then I like this second woman. That's like what I told to you. One of my lectures in Australia. With even though I was in Australia in the time, but he is from European, and then like he gave me the book. Look at this book, Albert. Like I think in that time is 2009. And then I look at the book, and then come, the name of Elena Preston. I think she is from United States, but her thought and her thinking is not about individual, but it's about society. So she reviewed, Hardin in the propositions about the individualistic and and the private law. He said like this, she said like this. I went to observe the fishing in Maine. Without with lack official enforcement, they can uh, secure their fish resources. How they did it? Because one of them has a sensible. Most of them has a sensible that this is a common resource. We need to secure our resources, and then like the fishermen in the main talk about rules. Rules different, yeah, with the regulations. Regulations made by the official government, but rules made by the by the collective actions between society. And then when rules introduced, the society agree with these rules, they can secure, the open access did not happen in many United States, yeah. And then come, she also she is actually from the background is a political science, but she comes as a first woman that won the Nobel laureate economics in 2009. I think she is the first woman that said that it does not happen in men only. Then she had the I think the notes from her colleagues, that in Indonesia there's also existing a forest system. She said that one of the uh, institutional arrangements she said about rules is actually customary system. So she said that many customary society has a common trust. So she said that innovation did not only come from the modern era, but it come naturally from human being, from the nature. He said that she said that this customary community can manage the environmental sustainably. So each of them can fulfill their food. And then she said that it comes from the common property rights. Social innovations take place when the collective action among society to manage environmental sustainability happening. So when I make it on our economy, I think what we learn from the history, that when we want to manage resource, not only natural resources, but other resources like human resources as well, it needs about social value on there. Yeah. So both on the individual perspective and also the social perspective. And then Ostrom died in 2012, but she made a 10 principle. Do you know where she made the 10 principle? She observed cross-sectional studies. This is case study. It's not only the quantitative study, but it's mixed quantitative and qualitative studies. It actually was made from the Amazon forest, from Indonesian forest, how the customary community can manage their environment sustainability. But like sometimes when the customary rules met with the official regulation, there will be overlapping, says the overlapping system. So what has not been found is how to crafted this overlapping system to be to become a new social innovation. So when I see this one, I saw the history repeating, that I think, in my perspective, learning from the four economic and like social of thought, I think the important thing in manage the resource scarcity is through the individual uh, perspective and also through the society value. So both of them needs to be harmonized. So we need to have understanding that the better environment was creating when we sacrifice more to retain more. And I think, in the economic there will be multiplications when this idea of principle of the social innovations come to the economic atmosphere. I think that's all from me, guys. Thank you for your participations to hear, some of my lectures, some of my speech today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Albert, for your wonderful speech. You talk a lot about your personal experience in your studying journey, on your pursuit of career, and also your experience in pursuing knowledge in Australia. So I personally think that you gain a lot of insights in regarding of the social economics from your own experience with your tutors and with your lectures. I think that you said it very well. And is there anything else that you want to add to your talk just now, Mr. Albert?
I think that's all. Thank you, Javier.
All right, Mr. Albert, thank you. We'll be joining with you later on the Q&A. And right now, I'm going to invite our second speaker, Miss Melinda Savitri. All right. Hello, Miss Melinda. How are you? Good afternoon.
Halo, siang. How are you, Javier?
I'm very good. How are you?
Very good, very good.
All right.
Hope you're
So,
staying safe, yeah?
yes, thank you. You too. You too. I hope you stay healthy and safe. But in the beginning, I would like to introduce you, Miss Melinda, to the audience briefly. She has a very long history with Unilever. She's been with Unilever for 11 years and 2 months, based on her resume that I've received. She has been moving from brands to brands internally inside Unilever, and you know which Unilever is a very big company where moving from brand to brand is like moving from company to another company. So she has loads of history and experience behind her. So it's my honor and our honor from Cube to be having you this afternoon and to talk with you this afternoon. So, Miss Melinda Savitri, Business Unit Head Unilever BPC, Beauty and Personal Care Masstige. I really hope that we could give you a very big applause if we are in the forum or a room. But unfortunately, we are virtual.
We make do.
Hi, Miss Melinda. So today,
Hello.
what are you going to introduce to us?
So I'll be sharing what does it mean for a donut economy to be implemented into practice. So you will see some example from one of the most beloved brand in Unilever, which is Love, Beauty and Planet. So that will be something that I'm sharing right now. And it would be something that would be more practical, I think. I've seen the lectures and also the speakers from this morning, really inspiring. And it's something that we're passionate about also in Unilever. So we would love to introduce our strategy, our sustainability vision, and also represented by our most beloved brand, which is Love, Beauty and Planet.
Okay, without
Looking
further
forward.
ado, I give you the stage
Yeah.
to introduce LBP in the beginning.
Thank you, Javier. So thank you, everybody. I think we've learned from this morning from the speakers on what it means to be part of donut economy. So for me, in terms of sustainability is something that I also hold near and dear for me personally. However, in my company, also in Unilever, we believe that sustainability is at our core. So the real action right now is that Unilever have what we call the Unilever Compass. In Unilever Compass, we have three main credos. The first one is companies with purpose last. The second one is brands with purpose grow. The third one is people with purpose actually will thrive. So one of the strategy actually is also to make sure that brands with purpose grow. With brands with purpose grow, it means that sustainability is at our core. We have a purpose, and we know that with purpose within our brands will actually receive the growth in the market. So we want our brands to actually be a force for good, and it will be actually powered by purpose and innovation. What I'm going to introduce today, as I mentioned, is our brand, which is called Love, Beauty, and Planet. It's embodying the purpose via what we call also positive beauty. So it's planet positive and also people positive. I think if we actually apply that to what we learned this morning, it's actually the sweet spot between what we discussed this morning, which is the donut. It's a balance between human and ecology, balance between human and also environment. So for Love, Beauty, and Planet, as you can see here, is whatever we do must be good for beauty and give a little love to the planet. So if we can move on to actually the next slide, please. So a little more about Love, Beauty, and Planet. We started our journey in 2018. Sustainability indeed is at our core. It's never an afterthought. In fact, it's the heart of who we are. Our purpose is actually to make you and the planet more beautiful. Not only one is more beautiful, but both of them, so you and the planet. So that's why we also invite everyone to make the positive changes to the planet, with what we call small acts of love, because we believe that the issues, we should not be paralyzed by the issues. We know that the issue is pressing. We know that it's urgent to actually help the planet. We know that it's urgent to actually help the people, but do not be paralyzed with the big issues. But there is something that we can do, which is more of a small steps towards it. And it is what we believe, and it's what we call small acts of love in every one of our activities in daily life and in every one of our bottles. So what does it mean, small acts of love for us? So it's good for people, and it's also good for the planet. So good for people means that it will actually answer your needs, consumer needs. So consumer right now actually are a bit more demanding, if I can say. So they're demanding corporations to be more proactive towards environmental and also other people issues. So aside from us being able to actually answer their needs in terms of beauty, there are also demands to actually for us to actually adhere to and align to the sustainability issues. On Good for You, we're 100% vegan. All of our innovation are made from organic ingredients. Our fragrance are actually made from essential oil that is sustainably sourced. It is safe for sensitive skin. So indeed, when we're talking about an environment, it doesn't mean that we don't listen to what consumer needs. So we need to make sure we're also answering all of the issues that consumers are facing, all of the things that they're looking for in a beauty brand. So Good for the Planet, on the other hand, is represented by our tiny bottles. In the midst of the plastic issues, our bottles are made from either 100% recyclables or 100% recycled plastic. It is not tested on animals, and it's PETA certified. Our conditioners are fast rinse, so it can actually save water, and it's processed by natural ingredient, ethically sourced. Aside from yes and yes, there are also some no's. No's meaning that we don't want to add up to more issues in the environment. So we make sure that we don't have chemicals inside our products that are not good for you or not good for the environment, be it in form of parabens, silicones, or sulfates, or the colorants. So that is how we actually translate our purpose into something that is people positive and also planet positive. So if you can move on to the next slide, please. Is the slide is not moving? Okay, yeah, there you go. Just a deep dive on what is in our bottle. So we have a wide range of beauty products. It would mean that, again, we're answering to consumer needs on what they're using on day-to-day basis, starting from body wash, shampoo, conditioner, body lotion. Our newest innovations are hand cream and face care. It is absolutely made from natural ingredients. It's made from also PCR bottles that can be recycled, sustainably sourced, and it's answering all of the issues or all of the things that you're looking for in a beauty product. So we made sure, again, it's good for beauty, it's good for people, it's good for the planet. Next slide, please. I think last year we actually challenged ourselves even more. You can see it in the next slide, please. So yeah, we challenged ourselves a little more. We made sure that we have a breakthrough innovation where we can actually answer the needs of the environment in general, which is the ocean plastic. In specific, it's also actually aimed into making sure that it's adhering into Indonesia's issue also. So we launched last year during World Oceans Day, what we call a variant that we called Clean Oceans Edition. So we push ourselves this time to make sure that the product is made from 100% ocean-bound plastic. The fact is that there are 26 billion pounds of plastic that enters the ocean. So there are issues that is pressing. So within our bottles, there are about 22 to 30 grams of ocean-bound plastic that are found in Indonesian coastlines, and we made it into our bottles. So we made sure that it's actually something that is correlating quite straightforwardly into the pressing issues that we're actually facing right now in Indonesia. So aside from that, so the ingredients are also made from something that is that consumers are looking for. So it's made from natural Balinese salt, and also it has the Italian bergamot fragrance. So again, it's a balance. So I guess the message is to make sure that even when you're thinking about the environment, to have at the back of your mind something that people would want, something that actually is answering the insight and the tension that consumers are facing. So it's not blindly moving towards sustainability, but then also not answering the consumer needs. It would mean that it would not be a circular thing. So people will not be buying your products while you're actually trying to save the environment. So that's what we're trying to do also with all of our innovations. So this is just one example of what we're doing within one of our pillars of sustainability approach, which is benevolent innovation. Benevolent would mean that it's kind to the planet. It's really actually making sure that it's not harming the environment. So the next slide, please. So there are actually 6 approaches for Love, Beauty, and Planet in regards with sustainability. This is aligned actually with our company Unilever's sustainability credos and also Unilever Compass, which I was telling you about at the beginning. So Unilever Compass actually address a couple of pressing issues, be it in the environment, be it with people. Whilst in Love, Beauty, and Planet, we try to make it really actionable, because the brand itself are the ones who are going to touch the consumers directly. So the first one is on the approach of reducing waste, which I've mentioned to you before. That's why we have 100% recyclables or recycled plastic within our product. Unilever Global actually has a commitment to collect and process more plastic than we sell in 2025. And we want to make sure 100% reusable and recyclable or compostable plastic packaging by 2025. So that's the goal of Unilever Global, whilst LBP right now is actually contributing to that goal, and even from the start of the launch is already adhering to 100% of recyclables or made from recycled plastic. The second approach is on benevolent innovation, which I mentioned to you before. It's a kind to the planet type of innovation. So we always make sure every single item, started from packaging, raw materials, into sourcing, is adhering to that kind to the planet principle. The story was especially I think I was most proud with the Clean Oceans Edition. The third one is sourcing ingredients responsibly. It's a representation of ethical sourcing. We make sure that the product is actually made by people that are, by workers that are working in a safe environment, that are earning a living wage. And we want to make sure that all of the ingredients that comes into our bottles are actually really coming from responsible ingredient sourcing. The fourth one, I think I've mentioned on saving water. So saving water is represented by our conditioner, which is off of fast rinse technology. So we make sure that when you're using the conditioner, it's not actually sticking to your hair and you can rinse it fast. The fifth is holding our carbon footprint accountable. One of the actions that we do is what we call Love Box. It's a collection station in a couple of our partners. Retail partners or NGOs or a couple of partners that we're actually working with. So the concept is actually to make sure that people are returning our bottles so that we can actually help them to recycle. So it's an attempt to have a zero waste to landfill. Currently, there are a couple of challenges in terms of infrastructure, to be honest, but it's, again, a small act of love that we're trying to do, just little by little, trying to contribute to the society. The last one will be people and partnerships, because we know that even a company as big as Unilever cannot move by ourselves. So we want to make sure that the people, you guys actually, are part of our community, and you are actually starting with yourself, making that change, making that choice also to actually be more responsible in terms of looking at the packaging, looking at what products you're buying, looking at what products you're using, and also looking at the after use to make sure that you are not, say, buang sampah sembarangan, atau actually you're not recycling. So that are some of the things that we're trying to do. Make sure that you're part of our journey and make sure that our education comes through to you guys also. On partnerships, we realized that there are a couple of like-minded partners who are also passionate about this. For example, NGOs, a couple of retail partners, e-commerce partners, but also not to mention the government, because it takes a lot. So we need to make sure that everybody is pulling their weight. So I think that's the little introduction that I want to share to you about Love, Beauty, and Planet. I think just to make sure that we keep the excitement going, I actually want to invite Javier to come back to the session so we can have a little of a chit chat and also a Q&A session with regards to Love, Beauty, and Planet.
I'm back.
Yes, hi Javier. So help me here.
All right, I think I'm going to ask you several questions on behalf of the viewers. So I hope that I am asking questions that viewers are also having in their mind. But I also open opportunities for viewers to ask questions in the Q&A session after this. So don't worry, guys. Just feel free to type your question with the format that I'm going to give you on the end of my discussion with Miss Melinda. So my first question is, why do you think that this attempt is very important right now?
So I think I have one slide about that. So can we move to the next slide, please? Yeah, okay. So this one, I think the issue is pressing. Why is it important to start now? Issue is pressing, for sure. So the example that I'm putting here is actually an example for Indonesia only. So it's a global issue, but for Indonesia, it's also even more pressing. For example, firstly on waste. Waste in Indonesia is an all-time high. So if you see the article, I don't know if it's too small for you to look at, but Bantar Gebang diprediksi tidak mampu untuk menampung sampah Jakarta by 2021. Gitu. Jadi it's this year actually Bantar Gebang is full. So it's not that it's a far-fetched issue. It's not like it's 5 years, 10 years, 40 years down the line, but it's now. So I think that's the message. Because of the urgency, we need to make sure that we act now. But also, do not be paralyzed. because sometimes I think it's a self-reflection from my side too. Sometimes when I think of an issue that is too big, I feel like I cannot make the change, but actually it's not the case. So you can still make the change even little by contributing. So another one example is on coral reef. So one of the articles you see here also, 80% of our coral in Indonesia are actually broken, and not to mention also the carbon footprint issue. So aside from that urgency in the environment, I think also there are the pressing consumer tension. Our consumers are actually more demanding. So right now they know about these issues. They know about how corporates are actually contributing to the issues. So they want the corporate to be part of the solution and not part of the problem also. So that's why I think the urgency is why now is because of those two things.
All right. Nicely answered. And I think I got the answer. And the next question is, I would like to know how effective is the implementation of the usage, such as you mentioned, recyclables or 100% recyclables bottle, and also the fast rinsing conditioner, and so on and so on. How does it be so effective to the planet? Can you answer it? And
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure. So how effective it is, I think I'd like to think of our brands and myself also as a part of the solution and not part of the problem. So how effective would mean that if we are actually moving the consumers together with the government, together with the NGOs, it would be a really effective movement. The biggest challenge right now is on awareness. So people are not really aware on how to act. They don't know that there are options out there that are good for you and good for the planet. So effectiveness in terms of making the big change would mean that this should be a movement. Right now, I do feel that it's an initiative that LBP is trying to do. It's still actually a battle. It will not be done, I think, in terms of in the count of days, but it will always be a recurring battle. Jadi kayak akan selalu gitu loh. Jadi ini it's not a 1 or 2 days issues. So we need to make sure that if we want to make the change, then this is something that we need to do consistently. So as long as I think these 6 approaches that we do is we're staying through at, it will actually make
Okay, I think we are having a
Indonesia.
minor connection issue. Is Melinda back with us? Okay, we are reconnecting. This is the problems that we have in the virtual event. So, Miss Melinda, are you back with us?
Am I back?
Okay. Yes, you're back.
Yes, thank you. Sorry for that.
It's okay.
Yes, Javier, what did I miss?
So I think you stop at some points of explaining how effective this action will be.
Yeah, I think on effectiveness, I would like to actually end with a call to action for the viewers right now who are with us. So want to make sure that it's we as corporate and as a brand will always strive to make sure that sustainability is at our core and not as an afterthought. But the call to action is to make sure that you are a part of it. So you are a part of the change that you want to make. So choose the right product, choose the right way to use it, and choose the right way to actually untuk membuangnya gitu loh. After using it, make sure that you throw it away at the right place. So it's
Okay. I think the connection is quite tough these days with the weather, with with the conditions. There are a lot of disturbance that we are experiencing. So I hope that all of you viewers will pardon all the difficulties, and we are trying very hard to overcome this. So I think I would like to summarize several of what Miss Melinda has said. She said a lot about the sustainability and how she and her brand, and also Unilever as a umbrella company, are committed to try to make sure that the products are safe from the pre-purchase and the post-purchase process. So by choosing the right product, the right way to recycle, the right way to throw, is a very essential aspects that we need to have as the consumers. I think we have Miss Melinda back. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
I can. Thank you for actually picking up where I left off.
It's okay. So I think we should move on to the next questions. I think that this question brought several difficulties, I think. So let's move on to another questions. So out of curiosity, I would like to know how long have Unilever been in preparing this kind of product?
So for Love, Beauty, and Planet specifically, we were launched in 2018. However, our compass actually dates back from more than 10 years ago. So Unilever compass actually has been there for a while. I don't think that we discussed that quite often. So that's why I was introducing that at the beginning. So the concept of doughnut economy, and the doughnut is actually what we call the compass for Unilever. So it's Unilever compass, where brands with purpose grow, people with purpose thrive, and company with purpose last. So those principles and vision is something that we hold near and dear for more than 10 years now.
Okay. So I conclude that sustainability have been the core of Unilever for a long time, and I think that this is a long-term dream of Unilever of having this kind of product. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep. So I think not only for Love, Beauty, and Planet, because one of the principles is brands with purpose grow. So it's Love, Beauty, and Planet is just one example, because we've got the privilege to actually develop the product with sustainability at our core. So it does not mean that the other products are not doing that. So sometimes it takes a while for a brand to find its purpose, making sure that it's actually rings true to the consumer insights and also to what the brand stands for. So we can't just plug and play, right? Like I think that we can't just actually choose one issue and make it our own if we're not genuine. So genuinity is something that people, I think, will actually know. If you're saying something but you're not doing it, then the consumers actually can pinpoint a finger at you. So we need to make sure that actually the purpose is embodied in every single of Unilever brands. So it's a long journey, but every single of our brands will have purpose, and that's the mission. Be it from environmental standpoint, or what we discussed also in Doughnut is a people standpoint, right?
Okay. I think we should take down the presentation, because I'm going to ask you several private questions that, personal questions that I've prepared for you. In regards of the brand and Unilever as an umbrella company, out of my curiosity also, I would like to know, is there any future dream that all of the brands under Unilever will do the same, such as what LBP has done? As we all know that Unilever as an FMCG company contributes a lot of plastic waste that are used throughout these years of Unilever's existence. So in the long term or in the long run, is there any consideration for all the brands under Unilever to implement the same thing?
For sure. I think different brands in Unilever actually are tackling different problems. So we'd like to think that our brands are a force for good. So we make sure that we improve the health of the planet. That's for sure. There's a plastic commitment that we're going to adhere to. For example, globally, I think the goal is to collect and process more plastic than we sell by 2025. We want to make sure also 100% of reusable, recyclable, or compostable plastic packaging is in every single of our product by 2025. And that is a commitment yang gak main-main gitu ya. Jadi that's a commitment that we are going to strive for. Luckily for Love Beauty and Planet, it's actually already adhered, but we are catching up with the other brands. It's a dream for us, but it's not a far-fetched dream because we're moving towards that. There are projects that are actually moving towards that. And aside from improving the health of the planet, there are also the health of the people, of confidence, of health, of people's health, of well-being. Also in terms of having a more inclusive world, we want to make sure that the sustainability is also practiced within the value chain, so up until the sourcing. And we want to make sure that that is in each and every single of our brands.
Okay, I noticed that implementing this kind of like recyclable bottles and also product development dates back to several years ago. So I would like to know, is LBP is the pioneer or the pilot project of sustainability product in Unilever, or is it's just the the perfection of the products prior?
I would like to say no to that. So we're not a pioneer for sure, because there are a lot of we in Indonesia itself, we have more than 40 brands. I think there are a lot of brands also before LBP that is moving towards that, and also actually speaking about these issues from a couple of years back. For example, I think at the top of my head, if you know Rinso, actually is part of the movement that is called Bijak Plastic. So if we're talking specifically about plastic, then Rinso is one of the brands that are also part of the movement. But I think we don't always talk about movement, but we always we need to make sure also all of the brands. When I say all of the brands, I mean it's all of the products that we're selling based on the commitment will actually have 100% recyclables or made from recycled plastics. So when it's not only LBP that has that kind of packaging, every single pack in Unilever within our goal globally in 2025 will actually have that, either recyclables made from recycled plastics or compostable. So those are, even if we're not the pioneer, I think the heart and soul of Unilever actually is calling out to that. So it is a part of the total movement within Unilever also.
I see. I think I would like to move forward to the station that you've mentioned before, where you can drop your unused plastic bottles and so on. Yeah, Love Box. So is this Love Box designed to only receive bottles from LBP or all Unilever products?
Actually, all of the products, because we're not selfish. So it's a small act of love. So every single beauty product that you have, you can actually drop to our Love Box. So our Love Box currently, I think the biggest challenge is in terms of coverage. So it's not throughout Indonesia yet. Our dream is actually to have it throughout Indonesia, but yeah, sometimes there are other considerations in the logistics that is quite complicated. But currently we have about 17, if I'm not mistaken, partners and also spots where we can where you can drop your used bottles, any brands really we receive. We have a target to actually make sure that we produce less than we collect, or either like we collect as we produce. So any products are welcome. So currently our aim also, just a little bit of bocoran, yeah. So in 2021, I think our target is to have more than 17, is going up to 45 spots. You can see the spots, sorry ini sambil jualan ya, in our Instagram. So we have a story that is actually highlighting the location of the spots, so you can just come by. It's our Instagram is you can search for it as Love Beauty and Planet ID.
Okay, feel free to promote your product, because I'm majoring in marketing, also branding. I'm a branding student, so I understand that every words that is coming from a brand manager should contain call to action at the end. So are the products and also the packaging of LBP is produced domestically?
Combined. So we have a couple of factory sites. Some of those are in Indonesia. Some of those are actually from Southeast Asia. So I can't tell you exactly where, but you can see in the bottles actually. So it's one of some of from Thailand. Because we have a couple of factory sites and we have a regional sourcing, so we can actually move between sources. Also, there are a couple of novelty products that we feel is quite advanced that we will import from Europe or US.
I see. I think I would like to ask you a very personal question, I think.
Okay.
Out of my curiosity, I would like to know by striving or trying to produce 100% recyclable product, does it cost more? Like cost wise, does it cost more? Is it more costly, or it's cheaper to do the conventional type of bottling and also products and so on and so on?
The technology is there, so I think that is one of the challenge. Sometimes it is actually costing more to have 100% recyclables or recycled plastic. But for recyclables, I think it's now actually compatible in terms of costs. But for recycled plastic, that takes a lot, right? So you need to actually reuse the plastic and then you produce it back. But for recyclables, the PCR bottles is actually now, I think, in terms of price compatible because there's a lot of industry right now that are using it. So that's what I think coming back to the principles of making this a movement. So this is a movement that even non-Unilever can do it by ourselves. So other companies should also do it. That is related to supply chain in the end. When the sourcing or the raw material that we use is used by a lot of people, it's a supply and demand, right? So if there's a lot of supply, we can actually, if there's a lot of supply and demand actually match that, we can actually have a better pricing and we can have the economies of scale. I think all of you guys are, most of you guys are actually economic students. So we can have the economies of scale to actually have the price be more affordable and making sure that it's actually part of the plan also. So we're thinking about environment, we're thinking about costing. So that's a really good question, Javier. That's why also we need to think about the strategy to make this a movement and not ourselves alone that are doing this.
I see. Point taken. So that is why that you stressed it since the beginning that this is a communal commitment.
Effort. Yeah.
Effort.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I would like to have Miss Melinda to once again explain the difference of LBP compared to other brands that are also embracing sustainability. And I think this will conclude your call to action towards your brand, and the time is yours.
Okay, so I think when you guys are going to be an employee or you're going to be an entrepreneur, what I want to left with is making sure that when you develop something, sustainability is at your core, as at the core of the brand that you're developing. So that in itself will make it easier for you to move around and give the proposition that the consumers want. But if you cannot, it's not the end of the world. So you may have other missions or other angles of people positive or planet positive that you want to tackle on. LBP consciously actually strive around the 6 strategies and approaches that we had, but you can pick and choose what is actually rings true to yourself because you need to make it relevant, right? So that's from a corporate and also, brand point of view. But personally, for me, the call to action will be, I think I've repeated this a couple of times because this is a personal thing to me, is not to become paralyzed with the issues, because you know that this is a big issue. Sometimes you feel like you cannot make the world change. But indeed you can. So you can be a part of a solution. You can actually make micro changes. You can actually make micro commitments. And in the end, if everybody is doing the same, then it's going to be a movement. So just making sure that that small acts of love is something that you're actually implementing in your daily life. So I want to actually leave you guys at that.
Wow, thank you, Ms. Melinda. And I also would like to invite questions from the viewers. You can type your question in the YouTube chat box. You can type your name dash your Instagram username dash your question, and right after that, we'll choose several of your interesting questions and we'll up it. We'll put it up onto the screen, and we'll try to answer your question as clear as possible. So right now, I think I would like to give Miss Melinda another chance to. Do you like to present your advertisement or anything before we jump and move on to the Q&A session?
Oh, sure. If the committee has the 1 minute video, then we can actually close with the commitment that LBP is going to have. I don't think it's
Okay.
here. It's in the video.
Okay, the video is being prepared. So I think we are going to watch
No
a
worries.
short advertisement of LBP. So don't forget to try LBP product. Oh, I think I missed one question. Where can we get or buy LBP product, Miss Belinda?
Okay. In any retail, actually, in any e-commerce sites. I think that's the easiest because right now it's PPKM, right? Don't go out, please, unless it's really, really, really necessary. But even if you go to retail, you can use the home delivery system. So we're there in most of the hypermarkets. We're there also in selected mini market. We're there in all of the e-commerce. So all of the big names in e-commerce, you can actually just type Love Beauty and Planet, and then you can find our official store. You can buy it there. I think that's the easiest way.
Okay, that's the final call to action. It's where you can buy
Yes.
the product. It's acquiring sales in the end. So now I think we are going to present the short advertisement of Love Beauty and Planet.
Thank you.
Inilah kisah Love Beauty and Planet. Kami ingin merawat kecantikanmu secara alami tanpa merusak bumi melalui small acts of love. Salah satunya dengan menggunakan bahan alami berkualitas yang diproses secara bertanggung jawab. Kami memiliki conditioner cepat bilas agar rambut ternutrisi lebih cepat serta lebih hemat air. Botol kami terbuat dari 100% plastik daur ulang dan dapat didaur ulang kembali. Kami percaya small acts of love akan jadi perubahan besar bagi kamu dan bumi. Love, Beauty, and Planet.
Okay, thank you, operators, for the advertisement. I hope that viewers enjoy the advertisement. So we are having Mr. Albert back together with Miss Melinda. So three of us will start the Q&A session, and I think if there's questions that are given by the participants, we are ready to answer. Okay, the first question from Dinda Arianti. Instagram username Dindoy2712. How to cope with the tragedy of the commons modern era? So I think this should be answered by Mr. Albert.
Okay, thank you. I hope I can answer this question comprehensively. Like, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we are in the era of the pandemic, COVID-19. But I read, from the news in Jakarta Post. I think it's very interesting that the power is still on the community. Like, even though we have some limitation, some scarcity, like I can say is that the power of I think RT in Indonesia, it's the smallest part of the community, is important. What are the examples that I saw, that when I read in the news, when I saw on the television, when people have been affected by the COVID-19, their neighbors help them for food, for assisting the medical treatments, and like this is the power of community that I think we should have good positions to encounter with the COVID. Yes, I know that this is cannot solve all the problems, but the power of community and to in this individual position is very important. I think that's the sequence that still happen until now. As I agree with Pak Soekarno, the story is repeating. Thank you.
Thank you for the great answer, Mr. Albert. You've reminded me of the news that I've seen yesterday, where I saw a lot of neighbors are cooking up food in order to supply it to the neighbors that are isolating themselves. So thanks for the answer, Mr. Albert. I think we could move on and proceed to the next question. Okay, there are several interesting questions that are being filtered by the committee, and we are still waiting. But I hope all of the viewers that are watching today are doing fine. Stay healthy, stay safe.
Staying safe.
Yeah. At this moment, your healthiness is I think is the treasure that everyone is looking for. Okay, the next question is from Melisa Triani. And what if there are people still have thought that those actions can reduce the formula of the product because you are too focused on the environmental care over the product development? Oh, I think this question is for Miss Melinda. So I think the question is about is the product's quality is being compromised due to the effort that you're trying to give on developing the packaging.
Yeah. So not only the packaging, so I'll try to answer. Yeah. So the principle is whatever we do, it must be good for the beauty. So it must be good for beauty and also must be good for the planet. So it's an and, not an and an or, but it's an and. So we need to make sure that both goals are actually achieved. So firstly, we need to understand in the beauty category, what are the consumer needs, what are their tension, what are the opportunities. And then we try to answer that with a way that is not harming the planet and not harming the environment. So it's both of them. For us, I think there are a couple of chemicals that may or may not have good effects to you. But if it has a bad effect to the environment, we're going to opt not to use it. And we're trying to find the best alternative. But it needs to make sure first, as I mentioned, not only for LBP, later on, if many of the audience here want to be an entrepreneur or want to develop a brand that is highly sustainable, we need to make sure first it is answering to the consumer needs. For us, it's a beauty category, answering the needs of a consumer in a beauty category. And then also at the same time, the ingredients, the packaging that we put is not harming the environment. So it's an and scenario, not an and or.
I see. So I think I would look like I'll look at your answer in the triple win solution perspective. So the winning from the brand, the user, and also the environment. So so you are trying to find the equilibrium between the three in order to match all the needs that are necessary to be taken.
Yes, Javier.
Another question, I think it was cut from the screen, is that Melissa was asking, what do you do to compete with other famous beauty care products?
What do I? Well, so I think this is specific for Love, Beauty, and Planet, right? So
yes.
What we do in terms of competing, I think competing is, as long as it's healthy, it's really good because it's exciting. It gets you going. But aside from that, also, as I mentioned, there is one approach of collaboration, which in the end actually is going to make a movement. But coming back to competition, we look at competition also as an inspiration. So their movement sometimes inspire us also, especially there's a lot of, I think, local brands right now who are emerging and also looking at environment at the lens of something that is similar with the way we're looking at it. So for us, it's firstly, how do we win is staying true to our purpose. The second one is to make sure that we're answering the consumer needs. So we don't want to make a product that the consumer does not want. The third one is also being very sensitive with the market situation, and also I think in the past 2 years it's becoming even more because it's the consumer behavior actually changes so much. So we need to be sensitive also within all of the changes and what the market demands. So being very agile is also one of the things that we need to prioritize if we want to win in the market. So looking at the shifts of the consumer, looking at the shifts of what competitors are also doing. So that's what we're doing.
Okay, thanks for the answer, Ms. Melinda. I think we will move on to the next question. Nice question from Devina with the Instagram account at Devina_OP. How to implement the donut economy in Indonesia, where this country has not yet looked at edible films for packaging, food packaging that can be consumed. Oh, I think this question relates to what has been a trend for several weeks ago, where there's a TikTok user that I think he's majoring in a food business industry. He tried to make an edible plastic container of seasoning from the instant noodle. So you can pour hot water into the plastic packaging and it will melt together with the seasoning and also the noodle. So I think she is talking about this. I think we could have two nice answers from two different perspectives. I mean, from the academic point of view and also the brand point of view. I think I would like to invite Mr. Albert to answer first.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, all of you. Like, uh, like I saw, when some habit, become popular, when it. So I think maybe one of the community actors, leaders, you know, uh, practice that habit, and then he or she spread to other community members, and then like uh, the others become popular, and then it can be implementable in their ways and in their in their arrangements. I think I come back again with the regulations and rules when something applied top down from the leader and then to the community. Sometimes it was not effective, but if this have been implemented by the community, let's say community influencers, I say maybe in social media influencers, the other will follow and it become popular. I think this is from my perspective, yeah, from the academic point of view. So again, the power of community. This is that popularitas komunitas is very important in in practice something new in Indonesia. That's from my point of view.
Okay, I think we are going to have a thought from Miss Melinda's point of view from the brand.
Yes, so I by no means, and Unilever by no means is apa namanya, has the expertise to talk about edible films for food packaging. But I will actually respond to the fact that this should be a movement. Any initiative in sustainability, I think the challenge is more towards gaining awareness. So there's a lot of brands actually are doing good for the planet, but not so many people know it, and not so many people actually has the information for them to actually make the right choice. So it's more towards the awareness itself and making sure that this can be a movement. So that's why it's important for us to not move by ourselves.
Okay, thank you, Miss. I think we are going to proceed to another question. Right now I'm looking at the question section in the YouTube channel and the YouTube live, and I think there are lots of questions that are scrolling through the chat box. So we are hoping that we could cover all of your questions, but I'm very sorry if we couldn't cover. So we'll try our best. Let's move on to another question. Toberly Samuel with the Instagram account at Toberly_Sinaga. What have the love, beauty, and planet done about most of our coral reefs that are damaged as well? What's the action about that information? I think this is the question that is referred to Miss Melinda.
This is a really fair question because I think that was when my connection actually broke down. So I didn't get the chance to actually tell you guys more on what we did with the coral reefs, and I kind of forget. So thank you for the question. Um, when we launched our Clean Oceans edition in 2018, it was coinciding with the World Oceans Day. At that time, we've got an activation where sorry, it's in 2019, yeah, last year. So we've got the call to action to make sure that people gain awareness of what's happening with our coral. And the fact of the matter is there's so many that are damaged. We've got an activation, just a little part of our small acts of love to repair about 2,000 corals in Pulau Pramuka. So it was an activation that was done based on if you purchase one of our Clean Oceans edition, then you are contributing to the repair of the coral in Pulau Pramuka at that time. The activation was very successful. We actually reached our target to plant 2,000 corals in Pulau Pramuka. So that's the tangible thing that we did last year. I think the challenge will be more towards continuity. There's a lot of things still needs to be done, especially in this condition. I don't think that it's that easy for us to have access to do the same kind of activation. So that's why we also still need to prioritize in terms of what can we do now and what can we do tomorrow. So thank you for the question, and thank you for reminding me that I actually left that part when the connection was bad.
Okay, so this is about coral reef, and I hope that Toberly's question is being answered by Miss Melinda and well received by you. So I think we are going to move on to the next question. Raka Ramadhani, Instagram account at Raka Armadani. I don't know how to pronounce that. So the question is, why the Sustainable Development Goals are so broad compared to the specific Millennium Development Goals? Okay, I think this question is referred for Mr. Albert. So can you please answer?
Okay, give me permissions to answer this one. Like, this is a really challenging question. I don't know how I start, but I just start from the analogy, and the analogy is very important. Something like this. I want to say fruit, and I want to say mangoes. You know, fruit, same with the mangoes. I think like when we talk about the Sustainable Development Goals and Millennium Development Goals, they are there, yeah, to one goal. This is the sustainability. On the way, I think the way they approach different. So it's some subjective, yeah. Some people say it's abroad, some people says specific. But I let the movement. I agree with Bu Melinda. Social movement define itself what are the best things to sustain the environment. So guys, I cannot say this is broad, this is specific millennium, but I think they have one goal to address sustainability, and then to me it's let the different approach come as a social movement to popularize this sustainability. I think I agree with that the word of the social movement in this goal or objective, the sustainability for this bird. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Albert.
Yeah.
I think we are going to proceed to another question because these questions are bombing right to the chat box. So I think we're trying our best. Okay, we move on to another question from Angelia at Mercy in Wonderland. So the question is, what is the best way to encourage people or introduce them to start participating in minimizing the use of plastics and choosing eco-friendly products? I think this question will be answered by Ms. Melinda. Don't
Siap.
forget to put your call to action in the end of your answer.
Siap. So for me, even in Unilever, I think we have what we call mari berbagi peran gitu ya. Jadi I think everybody has their own role. So I will actually answer this from the perspective of twofold. So firstly, from the brand point of view and also from my personal experience point of view. So from the brand point of view, what we're trying to do is actually to give education to the consumer. So our Instagram account is actually dedicated for us to same of the questions, yeah, bombard the consumers with knowledge and the importance of keeping the planet happy. So that's one lens of doing it. We are trying to create a mental availability so that the consumer has that awareness. So that's an effort from a brand side. But for me personally, what can you do is actually lead by example. I think I have a close knit community of a couple of my friends in one group. When one of us started to talk about sustainability, the others actually, even if they haven't done it, they kind of like got influenced with what we're talking about. So the best way is actually to talk about it, but not imposing it towards someone who has not done it yet. Because this issue is daunting. This issue is actually can be a little bit intimidating. Then you can, and sometimes you don't want to start because it's too big. So need to make sure that actually you lead by that example. So just making sure that you have your say your friend is exposed to what you're doing. So you start from yourself, and then your friends is exposed to what you're doing. Little by little, I think that they would be influenced. So just make sure that you're choosing the right product. That's the call to action. You know what the right product is. I've mentioned it for about 30 minutes now. So yeah, that's that.
Okay, interesting point that you highlight is that start from yourself. I think, and I think I have a great example of starting from yourself towards sustainability is the usage of metal straw, where you start to use metal straw instead of plastic straw, and that became a trend. And also, government started to have some actions in order to make some regulations. Even some major fast food companies are now banning the usage of plastic straw. So I think start from yourself is the great answer given by Miss Melinda. I think we are going to proceed to another question. How is it, Miss Melinda and Mr. Albert? Are you still eager to answer questions?
Yes. Pasti dong.
Okay, the next question, Priyanka at Priyanka Mulya. How can Indonesia go past the turning point in the Kuznets curve without sacrificing the environment? Because industrial economic growth is often prioritized before the environment. I think Mr. Albert could answer this question.
Wow, it's a difficult question. Thank you anyway. That when we talk about the Kuznets curve, the important thing is well-being. Yeah. So I think what I like, from the Kuznets curve is not excluded the environment in the economic point of views. So I'm respect with the Unilever. It's including the environmental values in the product. I think that's part of the examples that we can do to the environment. So I believe that like I get from Ibu Melinda about supply chain and global value chain. Yeah. So how to make the turning point to the Kuznets curve? We need to insert the environmental value in the propositions of the productions in the global value chains that people interconnecting and need each other. So I think that's one. And then industrial growth is often prioritized before the environment, because that's the part that needs to be some different perspective, that like when you sacrifice more you can multiply more. So I think one perspective is to include also the environment in our industrial policies, and also in industrial economic growth in Indonesia. And I think when we learn about the international trade, Indonesia also connect with the other global stakeholders. That's my point of view.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Albert, for your question, for your answer. I think I got several difficulties on concluding your answer because personally, I don't understand about constant curves. to be honest, I feel very happy right here just being the moderator because I only need to read the question, not answering the question.
Problem, Javier.
But I hope Priyanka, you get your answer. Okay, we are going to proceed with another question, and I think I'm going to limit it up to 3 questions because we are time limited right now. The next question is from Vivian Maharani. At Vivian Maharani, what is the expected plan for LBP to measure the impact of their efforts in achieving sustainability? Miss Melinda.
Expected plan to measure the impact of efforts. Okay, so in terms of initiatives, there are a couple, right? So right now, to be very honest, there are a couple of footprint that are still in the works. So there will be milestones that we want to actually push through. So right now, what we're happy about, I can say that we are already 100% recyclables and made from recycled plastic. What we're happy about is that we are sustainably sourced. What we're happy about is that we are indeed using essential oils, and also most of those are organic materials. More than 90% are organic materials. What we're still pushing ourselves towards are aligned with the 6 approaches to our strategies. So firstly, on carbon footprint, it's still in the works. So we are going to have a goal on how to actually achieve the target on carbon footprint. So let me just also remind myself on the other, on benevolent innovation. That is something that we are still striving to do year on year, because innovations are going to come every single year, and we would like to always make sure that our innovations are kind to the environment. On waste management, for example, I think we're not happy yet. We are proceeding towards some initiatives, but the scale itself is not yet there. So I think for the nearest term, when we have to choose in terms of priority, specifically for LBP Indonesia, it will be towards achieving that goal to make sure that we are collecting at least the same as what we're producing right now. So just to share, currently we have about 200 kilograms waste recycled via our 17 locations throughout 2019 and 2020. We want to push that. So the more we sell, the more we collect. So that is not yet there. So I think in the nearest term, that should be our goal.
I see. So I think you were referring back to the love box that you've explained before. Okay, thank you. We are going to move on to the last 2 questions. Sania Unita at Unita NURN. Does Love, Beauty, and Planet recycled packaging not affect product quality? So are there any downsides to using recycled packaging? Oh, I think the first question have been answered by Ms. Melinda, but the second question is quite interesting. So are there any downsides in using recycled packaging?
Packaging does not affect the product quality, indeed, because our R&D, we have really good R&D people behind all of our products. So we made sure that it does not impact our product quality. The downside is none, actually. It's just that currently, I think not so many manufacturers have the access yet. But for us, it's within our reach. So there are no downside, aside from, I think, if you're still you're not at the scale of a big company, sometimes the access towards raw materials and packaging materials may be more difficult. But just to assure you, there are no downside. So making sure we need to make sure that every single brand actually is using recycled packaging.
So I think there's no downside, but it's just a matter of time where I think it's just quite difficult to obtain the raw materials. But one day, if the communal effort is there, I think we could achieve what is the long-term dream
Yeah.
of our country.
I think if I may add to that, the easiest recycled pack to be used is PCR, which is represented by our bottles. The most difficult is in sachets. And Indonesian consumers love sachets. LBP does not have sachets. We're lucky with that. But most of Indonesian consumers are the users of sachets. So sachets is more difficult to have 100% recycled material. So that's where I think that's why we have a journey and milestones towards changing those into all recycled packaging. So I think it depends also on your type of packaging. So the downside may not be a downside; it's just more of a difficulty for us to find apa namanya, for us to find a recycled material of packaging that can be used for all types of packaging. So pouch and sachets is more difficult, but definitely for bottles is easy.
Okay, point taken, Ms. Melinda. Thank you. And we are going to proceed to our very last question because we are very time limited right now. Okay, I think Raka have asked question before, so this is his second question: how to balance profit and impact in our social enterprise? I think as this is the last question, I would like to have the answer from two perspectives, and I think we can go on from Mr. Albert first.
Okay, if for my point of view in economic perspective, there's a new knowledge is called creating shared value. So the social innovations for the society should be seen as a part to give you benefit and to also give the environment benefits to society. So I believe when we make the social innovation, social movement, something like that, it will also benefit to the company itself. So like I told you on the end of my presentations, when you sacrifice more, you will return more. So that's my end message.
Thank you, Mr. Albert. It's very concluding. Miss Melinda?
So I think I want to say that this session actually is not you guys learning from us. It's more of me also learning from a lot of the speakers today. I really love hearing Pa Albert's answer and also the lecture this morning. So it actually brings also some perspective into what we're doing as a business. But I think in terms of balancing profit and impact, what I would like to say is that build something. How to balance is build something that the consumer wants. That should be the core of what you're doing. So firstly, you need to know what your consumer wants and try to answer that insight. So you need to make sure that you're building something that someone will buy. So that in the end will balance your profit and make sure that people are buying your product. Whilst thinking about the impact the impact to the environment, when you're making that solution, make sure that sustainability is at your core. So as I mentioned before, it's an and perspective, not an and or. So we need to make sure first we're actually answering the consumer needs and insight, building something that the consumer wants by developing it also with sustainability at our core. So that will make sure that your profit and impact will be balanced.
Okay, thank you for the answer, Miss Melinda. But I think in this forum, the one who is learning the most is me, because I'm the moderator and I took a lot of notes, and I think that I'm having a lecture and guest lecture simultaneously in this wonderful Saturday afternoon. So thank you very much for the talk. I really personally I appreciate your effort to explain a lot of things based on your perspective in your expertise. And I think I hope all of us learned a lot. Just to close this session, I would like to present both of you certificates of a token of appreciation for having your time today in talking, sharing in CUBE Praspo 2021. So I think the first certificate is for Mr. Albert. This is the certificate of appreciation. I think we are going to take a photo with this certificate. So let's smile to the camera And I'm going to count, Mr. Albert. It's a 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you, Mr. Albert. The second certificate is for Miss Melinda. Okay, Miss Melinda, you're back. So we are going to take a picture with your certificate. Let's take a picture. It's 1, 2, 3. Okay, we are going to have a picture together with Mr. Albert, 3 of us today. So I'm going to be here as the moderator with 2 of the amazing speakers, and we are going to take a picture. All right, let's smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you once again, Mr. Albert and Miss Melinda, for your time sharing here. I'm very sorry if there's any mistake in my questions or how I run this talk, but I personally would like to thank you, and I think I enjoyed a lot of in conducting this interview. Thank you, Mr. Albert, Miss Melinda. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Thank you, Javier.
Stay safe. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. I'm going to... Okay, I'm going to invite my 2 MCs, Tiffany and Dafa, but I think Dafa is having some difficulty. Oh, no, Dafa is back. But Dafa, you're still in mute.
All right. Thank you, Miss Melinda, and thank you, Mr. Albert. What a very insightful session that we got from both of you guys. And also, thank you, Javier, for leading today's webinar. But before you go, we would like to give you a certificate as our token of gratitude. All right. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Are we taking a picture with this?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Let me do the countdown, I guess. All right. Moderating team ready. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Cheese. Okay. All right. One more time. 3, 2, 1. Cheese. All right. Thank you very much, Javier, for running with the be as a moderator and helping us out with this whole event. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you, Tiffany and Dafa. Good luck with your MC until the end of the event.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. So what's next,
Dafa? All right. So what's next? Well, I guess some of you guys might have, it might have been lingering, but don't worry, guys. As promised, we are going to give away some prizes, which I bet you've all been waiting for. And again, thank you very, very much to the audience too for all of the excellent questions and all of the interactions that you have given during this Q&A session, right? But before we get into all of the giveaway stuffs, there is now a feedback form right on the comment box and should also appear on the screen right now too.
All right.
So once you fill it in, please fill it in order to claim your free e-certificate.
Yeah.
There you go.
So while you're filling the e-certificate, let's see. We want to see your reaction. All right. Can you comment us like one word that describe today's webinar? Just like one word.
I think one word is a bit too short. Two. How about we give them 2?
All right. Yeah. 2 words. All right, guys. We wanted to remind you that the link is on the screen. Can you see it?
Yes. So all you have to do is just either scan it on your phone, and if you want to do it on your computer or tablet, you can just type the link over there, the bit.ly link, claim your certificate, and make sure that you take a look at the capitalization because it's case sensitive.
All right.
That's really all you have to do. All right. Yes.
We get reactions from Raka. Super inspirational.
Super. Yes. I completely agree. This whole event today has blown me away.
Real Oliver inspired. Okay. Wow. And then we have, what do we have? Deba. Described. Well, amazing, awesome webinar. Yeah, we really enjoyed too as well. Me and Dafa.
Yes, even us as MCs, we enjoyed all of this.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely a great
all
experience.
Right, So guys, okay, have you finished filling the form? Okay, can we see your
All right.
reactions if you have finished? Maybe you can comment like, yeah, I'm finished, done, or something
All
like
right.
that.
Yeah, just comment a quick done, so
Yeah,
we can just
so
take a quick look, and
yeah,
we can move on to the part, the
we've all
little
been
part
waiting
that
for.
I feel like a lot of us have been waiting for.
Yeah. Okay, are you done? Okay, done. William said done. All right. Okay. So what's next, Dava?
All right.
Oh,
So, anyways, yes. What's up?
yeah, okay. Yes. So right now we're going to the session that you've all been waiting for, the giveaway winners. All right, are you guys pumped up already? Can we get a
All
yes?
right.
Can we get a yes? All right.
All
So
right. Okay, come on. Just who are the winners? Just spill it. I feel
okay,
like all of
just
us are waiting.
all right. So without further
Mhm.
ado, here are the winners for the Love Beauty Planet giveaway. Congratulations to drum roll, Melissa
All right.
Triani. Yay! Congratulations, Melissa Triani. All right, next up, Dava.
All right. Next up, we have the second winner. There you go, Raka Ramadhani. So there you go.
Yay!
Congratulations.
And last but
All
not
right.
least, congratulations to drum
To
rolls, Vivian.
Vivian.
Congratulations! All right, so but guys, don't worry. This is the giveaway from the Love Beauty and Planet. We still have the giveaway from the Lingo Talk. All right, so here are the winners. Congratulations to these 6 winners: Dinja, Davina, Priyanka, Tobert, Sonia, and also Angelia. Congratulations to all 6 of you guys.
All
Yep,
right.
you won.
Congratulations to everyone who has won the awards today and the giveaways today. And just as a quick note, you can claim the prize by DMing to @cube.prasmol's Instagram. Again, that's @cube.prasmol's Instagram within 24 hours. Oh, and also for those who haven't gotten a chance to win, fear not, because we have lots more events in Cube where we will have much more things to offer in the future. So don't worry.
Exactly. And also, don't forget to attend CUBE 2021's second webinar that will be held on Saturday, 7 August of 2021. I'll repeat, 7 August of 2021. So just like mark up your calendars, physical, Google calendars, everything, just write it down because it's going to be amazing. And we're going to talk about plastic packaging. And also there will be we have the head corporate affairs and sustainability of Unilever Indonesia, and also we have the co-founder of Evo and Co. Yep. And also we'll be announcing the teams that will proceed to the top 10 right on that event.
All right. And before we really get to the last part, I would just like to give a reminder again that the link for the absence and also for the e-certificate will close in around 20 minutes. So just make sure that you guys don't forget to do it. All right, because it's a free certificate, right? But anyways, let's get to the last part. And again, as a reminder, next event will be right on the 7th of August on Best Prasmos YouTube channel again, and we'll also start right from around 10 a.m. too. And as usual, as previously said, there will also be prizes too. And again, don't forget to follow and check out Cube's Instagram at cube.prasmo. And that's really about it. Don't forget to fill in the forms, all right? So we can also get the attendance. But yeah, I guess that's the event. That's the end of the event already, huh, Tiff? Time really flies, doesn't it?
Yeah, like wow, can you believe it? Like we've already talked with you guys like from 9:30, right? So it must be like around 3 hours. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? We've already
right on
reached
3.5 hours.
yeah, exactly. We've already reached at the end of our event. And for that, we would like to say thank you to our speakers, Professor Jisman Simanjuntak, Mr. Albert Hasudungan, and Miss Melinda Savitri. and also Javier as our moderator. And for our media partners,
our media partners being Opportunist, B-Voice Radio, Motao Event, Youth Development Community, Saya Pilih Bumi, eventcampus.com, Event Campus, Students CEO Bandung, and Sustainable Indonesia.
all right. And also we would like to say thank you to our sponsor, Johnson & Johnson for all you love, and also case contributor PT Unilever Indonesia, Love Beauty and Planet. We would also like to say thank you to all the CUBE 2021 team. All of you guys did a very good job at making this event very inspiring. And all of you guys in this webinar today, we hope that you bring home lots of insight from today's webinar. I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Dafa. Thank you and see you in the next webinar. Doughnut Economics.
Doughnut Economics, where to start?
All right. See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.